My girlfriend is afraid I'll cheat on her, that she ended up ruining our relationship.
That's the classic.
How dare you? My 24 male Russian girlfriend, 25 female, is jealous to the point I don't know what to do anymore. Yet, we plan to go abroad together for a month. I do not know if I will make it to that, given that her jealousy will get even worse there. By the way, this comes from Weed of Justice. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the large backstory. I've been together with her for somewhat over a year, and this is my first serious relationship. I truly love her. From Russia with love. She's incredibly smart, ambitious, good looking, caring, and she has everything I'm looking into for a partner.
Okay.
On the other hand, though, she is so jealous that this is one negative aspect of her overshadows all the positive sides. Ugh.
Yikes, that's a lot of jealousy, too, if it can undo everything else.
I started my master program last fall, well knowing that I would have to interact with my fellow students, given that my university is rather small and networking is an integral part of my studies since students from all over the world are there. However, knowing well that she would get jealous of any girl I would talk to, and sometimes even boys, I tried to avoid any new friendships/contacts as well as possible, even though that will completely contradict my character. I do not need a million people around me, but I like to socialize in a new environment and feel comfortable with the new people. Furthermore, roughly 2/3 of the students are girls. Ooh, okay.
Well, that'll put some suspicion in your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard when you're in a relationship with someone and they just like have a fundamental belief that is like not true. Like I'm going to take that you don't want to cheat on what you describe to be your perfect girlfriend that is everything you've been looking for.
Yeah.
But if she believes you will, you're in a really hard spot.
Her jealousy got so bad that whenever I was mentioning a study group I was in, which was only for study-related matters, or when she saw the name of a girl on my WhatsApp conversations with whom I discussed university-related stuff with, she would get super negative and tell me I probably want to date that girl, etc. Even when I suggested going to the library together with her. She is a student herself at another university, and a male friend, she asked why we cannot go there as two. Also, when I suggest cooking together with her and my flatmate, who is also one of my closest friends, she always preferred to only do it as two, or just with us. Overall, she does not understand that I want to see other people in my life, accusing me that she is not enough for me and that she does not make me happy. This is what's going on here. I've seen this happen to a good friend of mine. This girl ain't got no hobbies. Her hobby is worrying about you. Now, appreciating all of her other qualities, I most of the time gave in when an argument ensued until last December when I had exam week. Therefore, was extremely stressed out. Furthermore, my grandfather during that week passed away, so my patience for extra drama was rather thin. Nevertheless, on the night before an important exam, she wanted to have an argument because she felt like I was neglecting her and not giving her enough attention. At one point during the evening, I angrily hung up on her and did not respond to any of her spam texts/messages afterwards. Oh, I knew she was gonna do this. I was like, and then I got a knock on my door. She then decided to drive to me and insisted on coming into my flat.
Dude, Riley has seen this playbook.
Where she destroyed a super sweet gift she made me, all while hysterically crying. I do not remember how, but eventually I managed to calm her down and tell her we would meet on Friday after my exam week was over. During the rest of the week, she managed to control herself, partly because my grandfather passed away 2 days after that evening.
Oh my God.
I still had exams, so she understood I did not need more arguments.
Dude.
However, I already knew I did not want to be in such of a relationship and ended it with her on Friday, me being in tears while she kind of accepted it and walked off. I don't think she accepted. I think she had a game plan.
Yeah, dude.
And she's walking away to initiate it.
She immediately started scheming, dude. She didn't accept anything right there.
In February, we got back together because I started missing her so much. Again, so many great qualities.
Which again,
wait, I know what qualities are now. I know what qualities stand for now.
Well, look, he did describe her as like everything's cool when it's cool, but then she just gets hit by these tidal waves of jealousy that negates all of the cool stuff, which is like, you can't do that.
Still, I had already applied for an exchange semester at a Russian university, which would significantly significantly boost my career options as I want to work in a field related to diplomatic relationships with Russia. I told her about that, and she constantly said she would not survive those 4 months without me, and that this program would be the end. This went on for so long that I eventually said I would not go abroad.
No. I mean, well, honestly...
You're letting this woman destroy your career options. You're letting her stop you from advancing. She does not understand that if she wants to have a family with you and to grow, that she needs to allow you to talk to other people. This is not a growth relationship. This is going to keep you in a box.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I might be out of line in saying this, but I feel like you can find a better career than Russian diplomat, you know? Like, I feel like historically, the Russian diplomats...
We're not talking about his career. This
usually
career.
get it pretty bad.
We're talking about the relationship.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like... The fact that like now he's no longer going overseas could be a good thing.
Okay, true. It could
be a good thing.
But his girlfriend's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely break up with her.
However, after a lot of reconsiderations and talks with my friends and family, I thought that I did not want to give up on that because 4 months, in my opinion, are not that long, and going there in her country was really a dream of mine. In addition, a series of arguments with my girlfriend about different things also made me question why I should give up on that when apparently she does not appreciate my sacrifice at all and constantly demands new things from me, all while she never gave in or managed to see my side and meet me in the middle. For instance, I've only and by now had would have been more appropriate, one female friend, which was a big no-go for her. In consequence, I did not meet that friend at all when we were back together. Only went to her birthday party together with my girlfriend after lots of persuasion, trying to show her that nothing even remotely romantic was going on between us. The party went well, but my girlfriend did not change her position one bit, still fearing that this girl would be a danger to our relationship and that I would have feelings for her. On a side note, my girlfriend has some male friends and always says she would immediately break contact with them if I told her to, but I don't want to because I see nothing wrong with having contact with a different gender as long as it's nothing romantic. Another example would be the birthday party of one of my best friends, which we also attended together. Well, knowing that there were other girls from my former university whom I've never had anything romantic with, but we all got along, pretty much babysat my girlfriend the whole evening, meaning I did not leave her side, talk to as little people as possible, to any other girls, and when my girlfriend nevertheless cried at 2 points during the evening, I took her aside and comforted her for at least 30 minutes. Ow. At one point, the girlfriend of the birthday boy and I and 2 other guys had a long talk about the Russian language, culture, etc. since my girlfriend was close by, and who better to discuss that with than a Russian? Repeatedly waved her over to join the conversation. Instead, at one point, she ran away, resulting in me following her.
Oh, God.
She admittedly wastedly screamed at me that I wanted to have spicy sleep with my friend's girlfriend and that I was a cheater, smashing her phone on the ground, throwing herself on the ground, etc. At this point, my patience was gone, and I started screaming at her, telling her that I would call the police if she ever showed up to my flat again. No smart move, but I was full of it and also wasted. These are just 2 examples of what happens at least once a week, with me being the person every time that starts approaching my girlfriend and trying to sort things out. Dude, you gotta run. You gotta run. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Running away.
Have you ever seen anything
like this, dude? For this to be happening every week, I was about to say, it's like you just don't have the patience.
Keon, have you ever seen anything like this?
Not to this extent. And I've seen a lot of things, but not to this extent.
Fast forward, I decided to only fly to Russia in October, whereas the courses already started in the beginning of September, and lived together with her for a month from mid-October to mid-November, leaving only 6 weeks of us being separated. Also, I will pay for the flat. She has little money and cannot afford to pay for the rent for that month. For me, it is also not easy, but I can manage, so whatever. Now, I already wanted to break up twice with her in the beginning of the summer because her jealousy went so far that we were only arguing every night, leaving me no time besides arguing and studying for exams and feeling completely unhappy. Every time I wanted to break up, she pretty much cried hysterically and begged me to give her another chance, as she understood her behavior was unacceptable and that she would better herself. She even said she might have borderline personality disorder and would try to do something about it, but she did not. And whenever I brought up the PBD again, she immediately neglected my concerns as crazy talk and insults, even though I tried to bring it up in a very caring way to show her that I only want what's best for her. Now, I feel that I have already gave in so many times to many of her demands. I do avoid contact with any girls as best as possible. I do not see my female friend at all. I only take her with me on the exchange semester so she can meet the other students as well and show that I am taken. I am super patient with her behavior. Last week, I asked a question in the group chat for exchange students in Russia, whereby a girl responded to me privately as we were having the same problems. We also texted the next day. Mind you, only university stuff. Furthermore, my picture profile does not depict me. She did not even have one herself. Plus, we did not ask any personal questions whatsoever. Still, I told my girlfriend that I had posed this question and that a girl had answered me privately. Fine. On Saturday, another huge drama ensues as she was certain I was chatting with that girl about private things and demanded to see the chat. Now, I had nothing to hide, but my patience with her jealousy reached a low level in recent time, and I, in the beginning, politely denied her demand, explaining that it is impossible for me to flirt with a girl I've known for 4 days, about whom I know nothing about, and not even how she looks, vice versa. She again started screaming that I was a cheater, and I must show her all chats whenever she wants to see them. As my flatmate is on holiday for 2 weeks, she was staying with me the whole time, and I first politely, later also angrily, told her to go to her place because I certainly did not feel like arguing again the whole night, like we already did so often, and that I would be alone and would call her an Uber home, which she of course angrily denied, arguing I cannot treat her that way. During our argument, I also screamed and at one point even insulted her, for which I apologized a million times later, whereas later only half-heartedly apologized for all of the things she said to me and her behavior. In the end, I told her she could see the chat. And even though I did not want to show a harmless chat at the time, and she was a weird, completely unfolding feeling. I already showed her the chats with my female friend, plus even has the code to my phone. And I do not hide my phone. I let her use it for music, Google searches, etc. But I do not want her to snoop around in my private messages. No matter what, because I feel like I'm entitled to that much privacy, I never even once used her phone, nor do I want to check it, because I trust her. In the end, it was me again who tried to sort things out, apologized, and gave in to her demands. She still held a grudge against me for insulting her, for which I, again, apologized so many times, and rightfully so, because that was a very low insult. Still, I really wish she would be also understanding of how unacceptable her behavior is. And I know that the month we will spend in Russia together will be horrible, because even when I try, I cannot fully avoid contact with girls. For instance, in one course, which I attend online for now, there were 5 boys and 1 girl, and my girlfriend already told me that she was worried about that girl, even though I never talked to her and also have no interest in her. I suggested therapy for her already so many times, but for her, that is an insult, as she perceives me as accusing her of being crazy. Plus, she argues that she has no money, which is true, but there are free options in my country and no time, as she works and studies. Fair point, but I don't know what to do anymore. I was really patient, but I realized how my patience has gone now and how my temper also takes over time something happens. And again, I feel like, in general, I'm a caring boyfriend. I take her to pretty much all social events with me. I bring her to family. I ask her if it's okay with her when I meet my male friends for one-on-one. I spend as much time as possible with her. I pay for pretty much everything, despite also having little money as a student. I talk about our common future together with her. I surprise her with trips and dinners, and that's not because I always want to do these things, but because I want to show her how important she is to me. And again, I know the healthiest thing would to be to break up, but since she hyperventilated and almost fainted the last time I tried to, and has little friends and no family in my country, I feel bad when I try to do that again. Furthermore, when we are not arguing, everything seems perfect, but I am extremely happy and completely forget our problems.
OP's a little goldfish. OP's a little blub, glub, 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 glub. Oh, my hot Russian girlfriend.
So close to the... Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you have any suggestions regarding what I can do to help her with her extreme jealousy, or what we could do? I would appreciate any comments you have, as I really do not know what to do anymore. I do love her, but I feel like when she is jealous, she's a completely different person. I cannot live with such a toxic relationship anymore. Pinning that right now. We already talked about her jealousy so many times, and sometimes understands my point, but she does not do anything against her jealousy. She says she does by not telling me every single thing she worries about, but I feel like that's not enough and only results in her building in a grudge, which at some point will explode. Again, if you read this far and have any suggestions, you are my hero. I'm about to be your Superman. What was that one comment we pinned a little bit ago? I cannot live with such toxic behavior.
He's like, I want to break up with her, but last time I did it, she hyperventilated. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me river, sing me a song. What do you mean? Oh, I broke up with her and she didn't like it. Oh, so I can't. Like, I'm exhausted by both of you now.
I am.
Like,
If
you're a perfect match.
And if you're with someone that's guilt tripping you to stay together, toxic. If you're with someone that has not set themselves up for success and created friends outside of you and created a stable living outside of you, toxic. If they're relying on you and they have no money, and like, I understand like being in college, you don't have much money, but they're relying on you for like taking care of them and always giving them trips and things like that, toxic. You're saying you don't want to live in a toxic relationship, but you got to take a step back. Got to take a step back.
She's the unstoppable force and you're the immovable object. You just have to leave. How do I help my girlfriend with her jealousy problem? Well, if you leave her, she won't have anything to be jealous about anymore.
Update. I left, but it feels like betrayal. All right.
Okay, well, we've made progress, at least.
My now ex is not diagnosed with PPD, but when I made a huge post on another relationship support forum, someone suggested this strongly looks like PPD. After looking into the topic, everything makes perfect sense now. She never showed signs of self-harm in any way, and arguments weren't always fully nuclear, although I gave in most of the time, which might be a reason. And besides, I, of course, cannot judge her for something whether she suffered from PPD. Now, after another huge fight last weekend and a fruitless talk this week, I knew I had to leave because I was feeling so bad and tense all the time like I never experienced it before. After not seeing her for 5 days, I've decided to do it during a walk, and for the whole day I already felt so horrible, like a betrayer. When we met, she said she finally believed that she needs therapy and that she has already talked with a therapist this week, which, given that she hardly has any money left after her rent, was a really big thing. No, dude, no. She knows what you're thinking. You've played this game. How many times have we played this game? How many times have we seen this happen?
Maybe infinite. This might have been happening forever. There might be a force of nature, like sort of like, you know, like the koi fish from the Avatar. Like straight up, like, because why do you keep going back? Why do you keep entertaining this? I have zero sympathy for you anymore, OP. This is what you want. Go get it then. Go live in it. Yeah. And if you say that you don't want it, then knock, knock. Hi, it's yourself. Listen to you. Listen to yourself. Listen.
She, of course, told me to give her one final chance. She has really needed me to carry through with therapy. We proceeded to talk for 2 hours, but I more and more repeatedly made it clear while her choice is amazing, I could not stick around to see what she was doing with real progress. I also suggested taking the option free for therapy instead and named her the institute that and the first address to find suitable insured cover therapists. She became more and more hysterical, hugging me, panic struck, and telling me we could do that, but she needed me because her parents were not here as they live in her home country. Her close friends as well, and she, in addition, has some other problems I don't want to go into detail. And I know that is true. I still tried to carry through, whereby at one point she started shivering in her whole body and collapsed. This has already happened when I tried to end it 3 months earlier at her home. Back when I stayed with her, told her we would try to make things work out, but it didn't work out. So this time I called an ambulance, and while I was on the phone, she regained consciousness, started hyperventilating, but eventually pulled herself up with my help. Then she started walking towards the water. We were next to a large river, but it seems like that wasn't her. She was sleepwalking. I grabbed her and hugged her, and we remained like that until the ambulance came. But her breath was so rapid and changed in pace every 5 seconds. She couldn't remember what she had done afterwards. I came with her to the ambulance to the hospital, holding her hand, and constantly begged me not to leave her and to stay by her side. It really shattered my heart just to think that I met this wonderful girl and that we are now in an ambulance. Just because of how far our arguments have gone before. Seeing her face in front of me, trying to smile while sobbing, still absolutely unalives me inside. During the whole time in the hospital, she almost frantically wanted to hold my hand. And only after seeing a doctor, she relaxed a little, and when she was allowed to go home afterwards. During the ride home, we again talked a lot, and she was more relaxed, even though she still cried. And she asked me to, instead of breaking up, to make a break for months so that we could both heal and she wouldn't lose me forever. I suggested breaking up, and that would be met for a coffee in some months and just see what would happen. Dude, you've already done this. Sounds weird, but it was the most I could give her, and I seriously meant it. This conversation also continued in her dorm, where I asked her to also bring me my things and I would give her hers. After we talked for 20 minutes, she said she would get my stuff, including a photo collage of pictures of us. But when she didn't come back for 5 minutes, I immediately was worried that she was doing something to herself. So I went to her room and knocked. There she immediately opened the door, gave me my things, walked me to the door of the dorm, wished me goodbye journey as I'm going to an exchange for 3 months in October where we initially had planned to stay together for a month and try to smile, but her voice was broken and she just walked away. Everything in me wanted to hold her back to tell her that we will meet again in some months and that everything will be all right. But I just stood there, which cost all the mental power I had. I no longer heard her footsteps. I just couldn't help but follow her and stand in front of her door. I don't know what I was expecting to do there, but I was so worried she would do something to herself. I wanted to knock at her door so badly, but again, I decided to walk away. I didn't text her. I saw she was online on Facebook at some time, which was already a huge relief. Still, I want nothing more than to text her and comfort her, or at least ask her if she's all right under those conditions. I'm seeing like a savior complex here.
Yeah, there's something going on where this guy just can't, he feels like a responsibility for this woman's existence to a degree that is just not accurate. Like,
It's weird.
this is not your daughter.
Yeah.
If this was your daughter, I get that. This is like this is your girlfriend. That
Toxic
is
girlfriend.
awful. You keep saying it's awful. It happens over and over again. Nuclear bomb fights every week. Dude.
I know I should not, and so far I didn't, but I can't get that image out of my head of her crying so heavily and only wanting to hug me. I know breaking up was the best thing, also for her, but then I can't help but to think that I should have gone so far for relationships breaks. But I think that I should have gone for that relationship break she suggested. I mean, was that too much to ask? I'm convinced that her PPD was milder than most, and I've also read so far on this forum, but it's getting worse and worse, and I gave all my energy, gave into all her unfounded demands, and increasingly lost my patience and control. So I know it was the right thing, but it feels so much like betrayal. And she would also be the perfect woman for me. I know that her good sides weren't fake. If she just didn't have PPD or show these really strong symptoms, everything would have been different. And by the way, you don't got to be different, because you can listen to more stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, look up OK Storytime, and boom, we're there with crazy stories just like this one. Coda looks like you're about to explode, man. He's paralyzed.
OP saying, I know she was the perfect girl for me, though, makes me want to like just ascend into the sky and like leave the planet. Like I can't handle this guy saying that. Also being like, I know the good sides were real. Hey buddy, did you know that you can lie about being good and bad? Sounds like she's lying about having an actual mental health issue, and she's also lying about, I don't know, being good.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's just, when do you get this diagnosed?
Because this isn't coincidence anymore. She's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
This is a purposeful thing.
Yeah.
So it's not an accident, which means it's a bad behavior.
Yeah.
Just freaking walk away.
But to finish this long rant
Please.
of a relationship, I feel like I've been in this relationship. Like just reading it, I'm like, dang, dude, I'm worn out.
Yeah, I know. I want to break up with this guy. Please.
I know with time I can and will heal. But just now I'm lying in bed and can't stop thinking of all these thoughts and what ifs. All I want for her is to feel good. BPD aside, she's a great girl, and I stupidly hope that she will make great progress and I can meet her again after some time has passed. Sorry for the long post.
Nah, it's all good.
I wanted to make it shorter, but I needed to get that all out, as I cannot sleep now anyway with all these thoughts of feelings of guilt. Just reading other posts already has helped me so much. Also, a huge thank you to this community. One last comment. Sleep well, sweet boy. You are a good person, and so is your ex. You're perhaps not just well suited for each other. I'm sorry you're going through this. Never lose your compassion and sensitivity. They're the only things worth a dang in this world.
Dang, that was a good final comment. I
Holy
like
cow.
that. OP needs to realize that the good side doesn't exist and the bad side doesn't exist, because it's always going to be both. Always. Always. So it's not good and bad. It's just that is her. That is the most concise way of saying that without hopefully, I don't know if her BPD is real. I know that BPD is real because I've dealt with it with people. And it's hard. It's the simplest way to put that.
My ex-boyfriend repeatedly cheated on me. Now he wants another chance.
Nope. Bye.
I have no definite proof that he actually went any further than matching with women on dating apps,
That's cheating.
because he deleted everything. Backstory. We've been together exclusively for 6 months, but have been seeing each other for 10. There have been many instances where I've caught him lying directly to my face about how he knows someone while we were not exclusive. He would tell me a girl he follows is just a friend of a friend, when I really knew he met her on a dating app. He also tells me I was the only girl he was talking to, when I knew that wasn't true. By the way, this comes from Throwaway59, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So yesterday evening, I had a disgusting feeling. I felt so gross. I felt such a bad feeling that something was off. I had never once gone through his phone or pried into his private life. Wait, aren't you a part of his private life?
Yeah. I think just meaning like on his private like stuff.
Got it. While he was out getting groceries, I checked his email. Since it was logged into my laptop once, he had emails from Tinder indicating he had new matches for months.
He had emails from Tinder? Man was
Dude.
getting emails from Tinder?
I get emails from Duolingo saying I need to do stuff. Like, this is just marketing for apps. If they got
That's
your email, they'll
crazy.
just do whatever they
That's
can.
Crazy.
Months. We were together. If a Tinder account is inactive for more than 7 days, you're not visible to others. So, there should be no reason this is happening. I should have just waited for him to get to my house to confront him, but I couldn't hold it in. So I FaceTimed him and asked him to go through his phone. By the way, you can FaceTime someone and also go through their phone while FaceTiming.
That's true.
I was
Yeah.
FaceTiming Angie one time, and I was like, here, let me like control your phone so I can like do something, like edit something while she
Yeah.
was editing a video. And I was like, wait, I could literally be on FaceTime with you and go through your phone while you're there, and I don't have to be there.
That's crazy.
I was like, dude,
Do you have games on your phone?
there's someone that has done that.
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
He had to re-download Tinder, where I saw he had matches as recent as 8 days ago. I was on a business trip 8 days ago. He swore up and down that he didn't have the app while I was gone, despite having 2 matches from that time.
Come on. Like, I feel like we always read these cheating stories and they're like, oh no, I don't know why it must be a glitch. No.
Someone hacked my phone.
No, it was you.
Ah, but I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
I told him to come to my house immediately. As soon as he walks inside, he tells me he deleted his Tinder account because he's serious about me and never wants to use the app again.
Y'all been dating. What do you mean he's serious about you? You were dating. You were officially dating.
He's finally got his mind made up.
He's like, I know that we've been officially dating for 6 months, but I realize now, after we have been officially dating, that I am serious.
I started thinking of my past and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be
I'm
serious
going to
about
be
you.
serious from now on.
Starting now.
I was furious because he knew I wanted to look through it myself. Who knows what else could have been deleted? Here's his original story. He downloaded Tinder twice throughout the beginning of our relationship, never kept it any longer than a day, and was never really on it. He said he wasn't thinking when he did it, and it was just an ego thing for him. He swore he never responded to messages, sent any messages, or met up with anyone. I have no proof of that because he deleted his account. I didn't find anything in his text messages. He said he wasn't swiping on anyone. He would just see the name of someone who liked him, swipe right on her, and just wait for her to send him a message. Here's what I got him to admit. He re-downloaded Tinder at least 10 times while we were together.
Done. Break up. Bye. You're done. I don't want to see you around these parts anymore, son.
What? He said he would do it when he was bored at work, and he wasn't thinking. You know how much thought it takes to go on your app, search up a word in the search bar, and hit buttons?
Come on. Come on. He
You know-
wasn't thinking.
You know what I have to do that requires zero thinking? Walking,
Walking.
breathing,
Breathing.
blinking.
Blinking. Probably it would have been easier to text your girlfriend if you were bored. I don't know. If you're feeling spicy text her. I don't care. Text your girlfriend.
There you go. He said he would swipe right on women when he thought was attractive, but he would never initiate anything. He lied to me about watching porn. He told me he didn't watch it. I told him before that I don't care if he does. I just don't want to know. He constantly assured me he didn't watch it prior admitting to this. He received a message from a random woman on social media, which I found screenshots of in his camera roll, the message and profile. I asked him why he had these screenshots. He said he showed his friends. I couldn't find any proof in his messages that he actually showed them, unless he deleted it. So I have no idea what he said. He said he had no intention on telling me about the message, but decided to brag to his buddies instead. I felt so broken. I've given this man 110%. And he half butted our whole relationship. I've had to beg for the bare minimum so many times just to find out that he's cheating on me behind my back.
Trash. Trash,
Dude.
man.
Trash. To the dump site.
Go get him a truck because he's the garbage man.
I don't know what to do.
I know what to do. Break up.
Oh, there we go.
Easy.
Wow. What? I had no
you
idea
know
that
what
was an
requires
option.
no thought? Breaking up.
Facts. Facts. We had one last conversation
I hope it was a breakup conversation.
where I just tore him apart. I told him he doesn't do anything, and he was a bad boyfriend. Bad.
And also, he cheated on you.
Bad boyfriend.
You're a bad boyfriend.
And we went back to things as normal.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was no. No.
That's all you gotta do these days. Just tell your boyfriend he's bad.
Yeah. And he's like, you're right. You're right.
He says he can change
No, he can't.
and wants to prove to me that he can. He says he planned his whole future around us. He's so gonna do whatever he can to make it work. You gotta believe him, Sophia.
I don't believe him.
He's gonna make it work.
I don't believe him.
I told him I can't believe he's going to change because all I've known from him is half-butt effort. He said he's going to take time to change. He showed me that he's capable of putting an effort into something. He said he's worried he has underlying issues that are making him act this way
No.
because he's
No.
never done this before.
Ow. BS.
And Sophia, this is the best relationship he's ever had.
I hate this man. He's like, I don't know why I do these things. It
Dude,
must be something in my past.
okay. It probably wasn't a hacker.
Someone
he was
hacked my
hypnotized.
brain.
He was hypnotized, Sophia.
He's like, I went to this this magic show and I think they did something to my brain. Dude, you're the problem. Leave this man. He can't even own up to what he did. This is the best relationship I've ever had.
What are you talking about? He knows he's able to change.
Bye-bye.
He said he's going to seek professional help and quit his bad habits.
Like Tinder?
We kind of left it on an open note, like what we want to work out. But he needs to do some serious work on his end. Bad boyfriend. I don't know. I haven't done anything yet. I'm the one that's having to pick up the pieces. I got a puppy during the time we were together, and he was amazing in helping me with her. It felt so nice, like we have a little family together. It's hard coping with that loss. Where I stand, I just don't know if making it work is possible. Has anyone been in a similar position? Were you able to make it work? I just don't know if I'll ever get over the fact that I won't know. I won't know how bad it really was. I won't know if he was really telling me the truth. And
He's not telling you the truth.
I won't know the reason why he did it.
He did it because he didn't. He's stupid.
Any advice is appreciated. Edit, he just submitted at least 20 times. We got an update.
Ow.
We got an update.
Ow.
Sophia's hitting herself.
Yeah, well, so it went from 2 to 10 to 20.
Sophia, he's changing. He's admitted his flaws. He's like getting through this.
The only thing he's changing is his profile.
Sophia, I don't really think you understand his effort he's putting into this.
I hate this man from the bottom of my heart.
Also, like in a story we read earlier today, you were as stupid as him if you continue this relationship.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be so harsh, Sophie, because I think he's manipulative. But like, girl, come on. We know what he's doing. We know he's lying.
Yep.
You don't need to know why he went on Tinder.
We already know why.
He's like wants to cheat. Cheaters just want to cheat, man. They don't need a reason.
Because the cheater's gonna cheat.
Leave this man. That's my advice for you. Leave him.
Update. I got some new information. This is my last post. He originally told me it was 10 times at the beginning of our relationship, and then he stopped. I texted him after our last conversation because it didn't add up. That's when he told me it was actually every week or every other week throughout the whole relationship, so at least 20 times. He insists it was just re-downloading the app, swiping on a few people, reading the messages, and then deleting it. No harm. He said he never messaged anyone or took it further than just the match. When he did share his screen with me, I did see that appeared to be true, unless he unmatched with people, which he insisted he didn't, and he didn't
and
know how to do.
He's freaking Mother Teresa. He's never told a lie. Come on.
Or Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's maybe better.
I didn't know Mother Teresa was cool like that.
Actually, she probably told lies. I don't know.
He also admitted that he lied about the severity when he told his friends, but sent me a screenshot of him texting them and admitted he lied and then telling them the truth. They had both said they were disappointed and could feel bad for him, but they were glad he's working on himself now. This is what happened. This is what actually happened. Hey guys, so I'm going to send you a text message saying I feel bad, and I want you guys to say you're disappointed, but also that you're proud of me for working on myself.
Exactly what happened.
Okay, now text that. I'm going to send a text message in a minute, okay?
Did you want to go?
He continues to say that he doesn't have a good reason for why he did it and that it wasn't serious at all to him, which is why he has difficulty remembering the specific dates and times he was on there.
Because he did it so many times.
Before I left on my business trip about 2 to 3 weeks ago, we had a brief conversation where I told him it's one of my worst fears to get cheated on while away from home because there's absolutely nothing I can do. Hey, Sophia, don't think about elephants.
It's too late. It's too late.
I just have to cope from afar. He admitted he may have used Tinder while I was gone. But once again, no messages, no meeting, nothing.
What do you mean he may have? He either did or he didn't. And we know he did.
Sophia, it's not that serious. He doesn't remember.
You said, I don't remember, but I could have used Tinder.
I may have.
I'm not quite sure. I forgot. There were a lot of messages.
It's not that serious, of course. His memory fades.
Memory fades. None of them were like you, babe.
Do you remember what you ate for lunch last week today?
Last Wednesday?
Just like that, it wasn't that big for
Probably
me. I don't
rice.
remember.
Yeah.
Since then, he showed me proof of making a therapy appointment. I can't.
We already know
I
that he can
can't.
make appointment.
I can't. Him throwing away all his vapes and his screen
How many
time.
vapes does he have?
He says he's going to send me pictures of his bank statements and screen time every week to prove he isn't buying more vapes, like cash doesn't exist, that he is actually going to therapy, and that he's going to reduce time spent on his phone and social media. He also sent me a huge apology, apologizing everything he's ever done wrong, specifically naming each thing.
He's like, and I'm sorry for messaging Tina, and I'm also sorry for messaging Megan.
Yep.
I'm also sorry for that one time that I met up with Susan. And there's a couple more, so bear with me. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah. I can name another thing he definitely didn't do.
What?
Watch more OK Storytime like you can do. All you got to go to is your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime, and boom, you can listen to more crazy stories just like this on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple.
Don't commit a sin like this, man.
Don't do it. I just don't understand the sudden effort now. We're broken up, and I'm pretty confident it's going to stay that way.
What do you mean pretty confident? What do you mean pretty confident?
If I get back with him, I don't know if I could ever fully trust him.
Don't get back with him.
He's asked us about going to couples therapy,
No.
and I told him that he needs to get therapy because there's no us anymore. Okay, OP. Okay. He says he's going to change and going to prove to me whether I block him or not. I don't see it working out. I have pretty bad insecurities and self-esteem issues. So this is unfortunately a tough situation for me. I'm trying to stick out what everyone told me and respect myself. Thank you all for the advice. My brain feels like it's filled with bees. So even though the answer may be clear to you guys, I was having a hard time seeing it. And edit, he is blocked.
Thank goodness.
Girl.
Proud of you.
Girl.
Proud of you, OP. I'm proud of you.
That's how you got to do it.
Block him. If someone is telling you that they're going on Tinder while they're dating you, bye. Bye. That's not your partner.
Dude,
That's Tinder's partner.
I haven't seen these kind of like gaslighting tips and tricks before.
The thing is that he didn't even really gaslight her. That's the thing.
What do
That's
you
the
mean?
crazy thing.
He kind of did.
I mean, besides like lying about how many people he was messaging, he admitted he was messaging people. Like he gaslit her and saying like, "Oh,
But
I'll
his
fix myself, I'll
reasoning and
change."
stuff?
Yeah, but like he just told her, and then he was like, "I don't know why I did it."
What's scary to me, the most scary thing here, how easily he brought up these excuses and he just kind of threw them out.
He was just like, "Yeah, I did it, but like it doesn't matter."
This is a pro at work. This man has done this time and time and time again. Who knows? There might be 3 more of you out there he's talking to right now.
Yeah, probably. But folks, that's the end of that story.
I think my husband is cheating on me. There's something fishy about his coworker.
And we're not at a fish market.
My husband, 42 male and I, 40 female, have been together for 5 years now. Everything is great overall. We complement each other nicely. I'm the social butterfly. He's more introverted. The thing is, I'm wary of one of his coworkers. I'm not the jealous type, but I don't know why. There is something that bothers me. By the way, this comes from Smoochie, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I have access to his phone, and I don't know why, but one day I checked her messages. There was nothing much. They don't speak every day and mostly about work-related things. But one message got my attention. She was asking what he thought about her, and he said that she would always be beautiful to him. I was uneasy. Tried to find something else, but I didn't. I let it go, as I too am sometimes very familiar with my coworkers. Now, a few days ago, I decided to check again, and I'm crushed by what I saw. She asked what is his taste for something random. He just answered, you. What do you think I should do? He was allegedly cheated on by his ex and was making a big deal about being faithful. Now, I'm second guessing everything he told me. I don't know if I need to keep digging or just confront him. We have kids, live together, and I thought we were happy. I cannot believe what's happening right now. I guess it happens a lot, especially at work. But dang, it hurt. Update. So, being the transparent self that I am, I couldn't hold it back, so I confronted him yesterday morning. First, he was so confused and kept saying, What? So I asked him to be honest, but he kept being oblivious. I proceeded to ask him if he was thinking that that was okay to ask a coworker, showing him the pic of the conversation with the you thing. Mind you, I also found a message a bit later saying, jokes aside, when are we getting together? Note, together as a couple. The coworker just said this was so random as the previous message was, okay, just put a meeting whenever, blah, blah, blah. I was already finding the previous messages hurtful, but this one is out of the world. In what universe would you say that to someone else other than your partner? So we talked a lot. Like 3 hours the first time, then again for 1 hour, and more in the evening, basically the whole day. He repeated a huge amount of times that there was nothing going on physically or mentally, and that he wasn't interested in her at all. That he loves me and only me. He said the first message telling her that she's beautiful is because she has self-esteem problems and is often down. So as his favorite coworker, there are only 3. I know the other one is a jackbutt and his boss. He just was trying to make her feel better. He also added later that it's his first coworker of his age. Before, he was only working with older people. So it was new and fun to have someone similar, but that as he's a bit awkward with social interactions, he understood that he messed up. I mean, I let that one go anyway, so moving on. Second message, he said that it was a joke. Sometimes he says something like this to pick on her and see the reaction. Now for him, it was okay because there were no intentions underneath whatsoever. And that she knows it's a joke because she laughs every time. They also joke a lot at the office with everybody and anybody. So for him, it was just the continuation of that. As far as I'm concerned, joking at the office is okay. I do the same, but it's different when it's in private messages with just 2 people. He also said that I'm missing context because they mainly text before and after the days that they are at the office, which is 2 days a week. And that might be a reference to something that they said earlier. They don't text every day. Sometimes not even once in a week. That's true, or it has been deleted, but this would be a tedious work. So that's how he explained the when will we be together thing. He says that he doesn't even remember it, but he guesses something related was told during the day, and that's why it came so randomly in the conversation. He promised me that this would never happen again and that he wouldn't speak to the coworker other than for work, and that I was all that mattered. He also texted her, although I didn't want to clarify that there was nothing on his side and that it was jokes. Of course, she replied that she knew it was jokes and she's very happy with her husband and I don't need to be worried. I don't like the way she answered though. She was really dismissive, like it's not a big deal and there's no need to think about breaking up or anything. Even if she understood, it could have been taken the wrong way. I don't have a good feeling about her as a person. I don't know why. I don't care about her. I'm hurt by my husband. But the fact that it's only them 2 in the conversation and none of them realize it's inappropriate is BS to me. I brought up his previous relationship and questioned the person who cheated. He looked legit hurt and proposed that I call the ex to check who cheated on who. I believe now there was no actual cheating involved. He's always home. They do work at noon. But I'm still on the fence. He says there are no grounds in what he said and that he doesn't have bad intentions when messaging those things. He says that he's not interested in a woman who isn't vegan, because we are, and that he wouldn't plan big things with me, etc. Like we have a huge trip coming up, or work on making the relationship evolve even more if he was interested in someone else. He says that he realizes now that he effed up. Although I believe there was no actual cheating, I still don't think what happened is okay. I think it's rude to me and inappropriate on so many levels. I feel betrayed because those things should not be said to anyone but me. That makes sense. At first, he wouldn't understand what I was saying and always brought it back to the cheating part. After so many you don't understand, I think he got it because he explained it again to me with his own words what I was trying to say to him. He promised again that it would not happen again in the future. I asked him, what if I said that to a coworker? And he agreed that he wouldn't have appreciated it. I said that I was still hurt. He acknowledged that and realized it was wrong, but he said that he couldn't change the past and could only work to make me forgive him if I let him. I underlined the fact that having been cheated on before, he should have been even more aware of what this could cause, and he agreed.
He's just agreeing to get out of this conversation.
Possible.
And he's saying whatever he can to get out of this conversation.
Yeah.
He's flirting with another woman more than once.
Yeah. Is he honest or am I just blindsided? What do you think of this? How do I get past this? We slept apart and I asked for a day to myself so I can think. But strangers' input is valuable to me. Thank you for your support and previous answers already. And we do have a second update.
Oh.
Good and not so good ahead. All right. So I took some time to myself those past 2 days with no contact with him to think about it. Yesterday, we talked it all out again with most of your points. I told him that whether he realizes it or not, it was flirting. He was caught, and for me, it was a form of cheating. He insisted that it wasn't what he was going for, but accepted my view. He has no choice anyway. He explained that he didn't want to be dismissive at the beginning, but as he was taken aback, this was his initial reaction. But reflecting on it, he understands how bad it is. I also pointed out the half-butted excuses, such as we're both vegan or we have things planned. He understood, but added that since we know each other, he always mentioned hating one-night stands or meaningless spicy sleep, which is true. It doesn't help much, but at least he's nothing but consistent. I told him I didn't believe his coworker at all and thought that she was just fishing for some compliments, etc., and that she probably knew what she was doing. We will come back on that later. I told him the trust was broken and I didn't want to be paranoid every single time he's going to the office, so he promised several things, and I'll list them below. I also asked him if it was an attention issue. He thought about it, but it doesn't think it is. He says that he has enough from me and that that's all that matters. He said that he went online to try to find some clarity and help and realized what he said was completely out of line. But again, it was too late. So all he could do was work on getting back my trust every single day. He said that he tried to find why he would do this, but couldn't really find an answer. The only thing he could think of is that he's awkward socially, which is true, and that he never had a female friend before, so maybe he talked to her like he talked to any other girl, except he was pursuing all the other girls, so the convo shouldn't have been the same. I know, it's a stretch. I told him if we were going to try to work through it, it was a one-time thing, and I would not tolerate another debacle like this. And he agreed. As he and her said the department was joking like that all the time, I asked who else he was talking to like that. But he only spoke to that colleague on social media, so I cannot compare. Because the others are men, so even if he did, I doubt I would have found something. I said I was thinking about meeting the coworker, plus her husband, to talk it out. I decided not to do it because of what's next. Finally, I asked to read the whole conversation. This is where it's bad. You guys, I felt like I was reading a conversation. Nothing was okay since the beginning that they started talking, but it only came from him. Actually, the coworker looked like she was avoiding answering and would emoji laugh to avoid being rude or something. And I now don't think that she was fishing for something. That was yet another hurtful experience. I must add that he went low contact several times during the year too, and she was the one coming back like it's been a while. You don't talk to me anymore, etc. But again, she was not inappropriate. So I showed him along the way all the inappropriate messages. Some were small, others bigger. But I found around 20 inappropriate messages over the last year. The more I went on, the more he was breaking down. By the end, he was crying because he said that he just wanted to be nice and supportive, and nobody ever told him that it was inappropriate before. He looked truly pained. Anyhow, if we want to have any kind of chance to salvage the relationship, I asked what he would put in place. So he decided he won't speak to the coworker anymore, sent her a text to let her know that contact was done so she wouldn't reach out. Goes to the office twice a week. He has 1 day on-site mandatory, but can choose the other one, so he will go a day that she's not there. I get full access to his phone, and he gave me access to his tablet as well. He offered to put a tracker in his phone so I could see conversations live. No after works. Was already the case. But also, he would never leave home late. And if it happened, he would send proof or something. We booked an appointment for couple therapy, and he will also go by himself. What is hard is when I speak with him, he seems true and genuine, so either he's honest or he's a masterclass actor, and I still have a doubt. Except that he never gave me any reason to doubt him. I can't throw the last 5 years that were good without giving him the benefit of the doubt once. By the way, it would be good if you went to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one. And we do have a little bit more to the story. I also found here on Reddit posts of guys flirting who had no intention to cheat. The comments were also going like, I'd be your girlfriend, I would never believe you, etc. But OPs don't have a reason to lie here. So I guess in some rare situations, it can happen. Anyway, he said it was an electroshock and he just wanted the chance to prove to me that he's fully dedicated to the relationship and will work to gain back my trust. He said the past couple of years counted and that he hopes that I can give him a chance based on what we already lived together and the adjustments we made in order to go further. I want to give him a chance, so I will monitor the situation in the next weeks and months. And I, of course, will keep you updated on if it was a good decision or not. Any new thoughts are also welcome. I think maybe leave him. Maybe leave him because I don't like how you're being OP.
Yeah, this is a toxic, codependent relationship that, I don't know, it's not healthy for either of you.
Yeah.
Get some more evidence, play it out, get evidence, see what he's doing, and then probably, I don't know, get a little towel, put some food in it, wrap it up, get a stick, and walk on out.
I caught my wife cheating through her email.
You've got mail. She cheated on you.
I am male 34, married to my wife, female 32. We have been married for 8 years and have 2 sons, aged 4 and 1. By the way, this comes from Les Secrets Thrown Away. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, backstory. I first met my wife when I was 24. I was working for the company I still work at today and was on a business trip to Beijing. She was 22 and still is absolutely gorgeous, and I was infatuated with her. After a little playful flirting, she agreed to meet up with me again, and we soon began dating. Even when I had to return to the States, we continued in LDR, and I would save up to return to Beijing to meet her. She is Chinese and has very traditional parents. Her mother was welcoming, as were her 2 brothers, yet her father was intimidating. Despite all this, they gave me their approval to ask their daughter her hand in marriage just over a year after meeting her. This may seem quick to some, but I was and still am head over heels in love with her. So, we married, she moved to the States with me, and we started a family 4 years ago with the birth of my first son. My second son turned 1 this April. I have no money troubles. I have a large house that I own. I couldn't be happier. Now, I saw nothing wrong with my marriage until I discovered the offending emails. We have spicy sleep regularly. She has never seemed off with me, although recently I admit that she seems more glued to her cell phone than usual. She works as a secretary for a company based in a town about 45 minutes drive home from our house, so she leaves earlier than I do in the mornings and returns home after me. Recently, I've been noticing her returning later than normal, her reason being that she had extra work to take care of, and I thought nothing of it. I now know that reason was a lie. One afternoon, my wife was out with my 2 sons shopping, and I was working at home. I had to use my wife's laptop as mine was still in the office. When I logged on, an email notification popped up with the beginning of the email shown, starting approximately like this. Thank you for Thursday evening. Maybe meet up, ... I got curious and opened the email to find that my wife had spent Thursday evening with this man and that he wanted to arrange another meeting for the following Tuesday evening after work. I discovered this man worked at her company, and after looking through her emails, I discovered that she had been meeting the same man after work once or twice a week at his apartment for the past 6 months. The earliest email I found that suggested any kind of affair was dated late January 2012, but who knows? It could have been earlier. The man in question works at a higher position in the company my wife works at, and is much richer than we are. I would guess that he's in his late 40s, yet I would say that he is quite attractive, probably more so than I am. I am an average-looking guy of an average build, and usually I'm not very funny. Oh, P.
Oh, P, come on, man.
My friends repeatedly remind me about how lucky I am to have such an attractive wife who has retained her figure, and I realize how many people could see her as out of my league. I obviously am very devastated and heartbroken at the discovery, especially considering that I had thought I had such a happy life. My wife and kids are my everything. I love her to bits and I have no idea what to do. I don't want to split with her, especially not with my children being so young, and I definitely do not want to go through the pain of divorce. If she came back and asked me for a second chance, I would give it to her. But what's to stop her doing it again? It has been a couple of days since I uncovered these emails. I set the one I read to unread so she didn't realize I had seen it. I've acted as well as I can, normal with her, yet I realize I need to talk to her about it. So Reddit, what do you think I should do? If I should talk to her about it, what should I say? And there is an edit, but before we get into that, what would you say, Keon?
OP,
Poor man.
I want to give you a hug.
Right?
Go to the gym. I don't know. Like, this is where you focus on yourself and, you know, you do what's best for you. And it seems like you don't want a divorce, especially since your kids are so young.
Yeah.
Therapy, couples therapy, 100%. You need to talk to your wife. And I feel like it's not fair to you. 6 months of this. Also, the fact that it's through email is like, it's kind of like right there out for you to see. I don't know. You got to ask her, like, why do this? You know, we have a family, we have a house together, we have a wonderful life.
Right.
Am I not fulfilling that for you? Especially since you guys said you sleep, you know, you have spicy sleep on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why is she doing this? Is she doing this to keep her job? You gotta, you know, is she doing this for herself because she doesn't, you know, she doesn't like you? But I don't know. You gotta definitely talk to her and ask her why, and then proceed from there.
Yeah, exactly. And there is an edit. I think the smartest move would be to consult a lawyer before confronting her in the case that she isn't genuinely sorry and wants to divorce. When I next get a chance, I will save the emails in case I need them. Even if this marriage is over, I still love my kids to bits and I don't want them to get hurt. Most people seem to suggest that if we are to divorce, we should do it now whilst they don't remember it as well, rather than later on. And there is an update. I think we should just roll right into it.
Right into it.
Yeah.
Right into it.
Well, there's a lot to say, even if the situation isn't 100% resolved. Firstly, I went to see a lawyer and he told me to get all evidence of these emails in case it came to divorce. Evidence of her adultery will help me in court. He didn't advise me to use my children as pawns, but he did say whatever happens, I have to stay calm. And he says that he can get me a joint custody of our children, which is fantastic news, as long as I can prove that with my income and I can provide for them, which I can. I returned home and managed to get copies of emails from my wife's laptop. They've been printed off and are now in a file just in case. Next came confronting my wife. She arrived home on Wednesday, late as I expected, and I had already put the children to bed. I asked her why she was late, and she told me that she had extra work to take care of. And I said, "It hasn't got anything to do with this colleague, then." She seemed slightly taken aback, asked me what I meant, and I told her that I had seen the emails, I know what's going on, and I wanted to know why she did it. She began to cry. She didn't deny it, and there were a lot of tears from this point on from the both of us. Apparently, he made her feel safe as he had a good job with a high income and that he gave her what I couldn't, and that was expensive romantic meals in restaurants, getaways in 4-star hotels. Here was when I found out that when she had to go on a weekend work trips, it was actually her going to a hotel with him. She felt free when she was with him, whereas with me, she felt that she was trapped. Yikes. She told me that marriage was such a permanent thing and that she wasn't keen on marrying me in the first place. That because her parents and friends liked me, she felt pressured into doing it, and that her affair was her way of escaping it. She told me she still loves me and that she still wants to be with me. She said that the affair wasn't my fault in the slightest. It was a result of her marrying too early and not experiencing relationship with others before she committed herself to me. She said that she would end the affair and would try to make amends with me. I wasn't totally sure whether she was telling the truth and that she would end the affair, so I told her that I would forgive her and we would try to go back to where we were if I was there when she ended it with her colleague in person, so I knew she had definitely done it. She agreed, and we are now set to try and get our marriage back on track. It will take time. It may never be the same after she betrayed my trust, but we love each other. At least I do, and we want to fix this. She has set up a, quote, date for Sunday evening at our house, telling her colleague that the kids are at my parents' house. This is true, they will be, and that I'm out of town for the night. In reality, I will be there, and my wife will end it with him. I'd just like to say thank you so much, Reddit, for helping me. The answers I received were extremely helpful, and I don't know how I would have lasted this without your advice. And I don't know how you guys could go without our advice, because you could so easily listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We got all the advice for you on there. All of it.
Got a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, but there is a little bit more to the story. But what do you think about this confession of hers?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't like how she's like, I didn't want to marry you in the first place, but
Yeah.
all my family and friends liked you, so I guess I liked you and I love you, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She
It
was
just seems
really
very
young.
she sounds very superficial. The fact that you
Maybe.
gave her a family, a roof over her head, I don't know. You said
Yeah.
the house was yours. And she never asked, well, from what we got from the story, she never asked you for, let's go on vacations, let's go on
Right.
getaways, I want expensive dates.
Right.
It seems like you have the means for that, or
Yeah.
at least once in a while, and she never asked that. So
Yeah.
she just escaped with some other guy. I don't know. I feel like you're being a little head over heels for her. And then I guess because you have a new family, what would you do?
Dude, I don't know. Because, I mean, I feel like I could understand if someone, I mean, she got married when she was 23 after a year of knowing this guy.
I feel safe. I feel safe with him.
Yeah, I would be worried. Like, do I not make you feel safe or something like that? Like that,
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel unsafe around me. Like, I think I would definitely be hurt. I think I would definitely be hurt. I don't know if I would go to divorce or not. I have not been married and I've not been cheated on in a marriage.
Neither of us have. Yeah.
So that's hard to imagine, because I feel like sometimes the rules are different there.
Very.
But maybe this is something that could be worked on. I would definitely be like, oh, well, I'm not going to forgive you yet. I'm willing to
It's gonna take
see
some
if I
time-
can.
time and a
And
lot
therapy.
of effort.
Yeah,
From her.
for
Like,
sure.
You didn't. I seems like she got. It's not on you, but it's like
like,
it
well,
is. Yeah, because I don't make you feel safe. Because
Yeah, like you're
yeah.
kind of, it feels like it is. Like you said it's not, but yeah, I would. Maybe they can try to go to therapy. He can just be like, yeah, this freaking hurts. I wish you would have talked to me about this stuff before you did this. Something that you can't undo, So maybe they can go to therapy and maybe they can work it out.
Yeah, OP, it's not saying like I don't. It's like it seems like you don't have a lot of respect for yourself, but a little bit more, because it seems like you were just like, okay, I caught her and she said she's sorry. We're gonna work on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you need more than that. She needs a
Yeah.
lot more effort for you. You
Right.
know, it's the balance of a relationship.
Right. We got to know the details of how you're going to work on it.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit more to the story. So, after browsing these comments, I can see the risks associated with the plans me and my wife had made. After all, what is to stop her cheating again? She could potentially side with him and make secret plans with him and backstab me when he comes around. Thank you for the advice. Alarm bells are beginning to ring. Even though I still love my wife deeply, there's nothing to suggest that she will be trustworthy with me. I have decided to do the following. 1. Insist that she quits her job. If she truly wants to end the affair, she surely will have no qualms about doing this. She is intelligent, she has a great resume, and has good qualifications. I'm positive she'll be able to get a new job of equal pay. 2, I can invite my friend over at the same time as when we meet her colleague, just to ensure that nothing will go wrong. I've informed him of my situation, and he has agreed to come around. We are not violent people, and despite the hate I feel for this guy, I wouldn't resort to violence upon meeting him, knowing the consequences. If she is uneasy about either of these, this may suggest she plans on continuing the affair. If so, I may have to admit my marriage is over. I'm not looking out for me, I'm looking out for my kids. They are the ones who will suffer the most from this, not me, and I have decided that I'd rather end this marriage sooner rather than later. And that is the end of that story. Yikes.
Yeah,
man.
never do it for the kids, because at the end of
Yeah.
it, it's gonna divorce eventually, and you're also gonna have that thought process
Right.
of like, how do I trust you? How am I gonna ever trust you again?
Right.
I feel like if it really does not go in that direction of 150%, where it's like you already have a single doubt in your mind, it's gonna be there the entire time, and it's unhealthy for you, for her, and for your children.
Yeah. You want to show them, because that is always a worry of mine too, is like if you
Yeah.
don't divorce because of this, and then like later your kids like obviously find out the truth. If you stayed with them, then like they might think that it's okay to be cheated on.
Yeah,
And that,
or
like-
it's like okay to cheat.
Yeah, and so it's like you really don't want to teach them that. Even if you say like don't do that,
yeah,
they'll
doing
still
it,
see it and learn from the example more than the words.
the doing it for the kids is not always the best,
Yeah.
scenario.
doesn't always work.
I think my wife is cheating with her coworker.
Oh, that's never good.
A few months ago, I installed a security camera outside our front door, primarily for safety, prompted by a shooting in our neighborhood.
Whoa.
Okay. Safety first. It wasn't installed out of suspicion towards my wife. By the way, this comes from user Miserable Debate 7438, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, about a week ago, my wife came home from work and casually mentioned taking public transit, which is a common mode of transport for her, along with the occasional Uber rides if she works very late. I didn't think anything of it at the time. The next day, while reviewing the camera footage, I was looking to see if a package was dropped off. I saw the video of her arrival from the previous night.
Ruh-roh.
The camera captures out front door and part of the street. It showed her walking up to the door, pausing to look across the street, smiling and waving as a car pulled away, and then entering the house. It strongly suggested she had been dropped off. I casually asked her if she had taken an Uber home the night before. She initially insisted she had taken transit. When I mentioned the camera footage, she shifted, suggesting maybe it was an Uber and she had forgotten. Sensing something was off, I jokingly asked if she typically waved goodbye to Uber drivers from our doorstep as they waited for her to get inside. This led to further hesitation before she finally admitted it was a coworker. The coworker is a man she has previously mentioned in passing when talking about work or a project she's involved in, who had dropped her off after they both worked late. Naturally, I felt really off. Her story went from transit to maybe Uber, I forgot, to actually a coworker. I asked was that the first time he drops her off? She said, yes. I pointed out how unusual it seemed to forget being dropped off for the very first time by a coworker, especially when it wasn't her usual routine. This is when she became defensive, accusing me of calling her a liar and claiming it was just an honest mistake due to being tired. While I tried to accept this, I couldn't shake the feeling that her reaction and multiple explanations were illogical. Unable to let it go, I reviewed the camera footage from the week prior. What I discovered, she had been dropped off by the same car multiple times that week alone. Expanding my search to the past month's recordings, as they reset monthly, I found this scenario repeated 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow, that's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of cheating.
So she lied, and then she
Yeah.
lied again, and then she kind of lied again, and now
Yeah.
she's been lying this entire time.
So does she ever actually take Ubers home? Or is it this guy?
Or public transit.
Yeah. Which one?
Interesting. And she's never mentioned it before. I also discovered instances where the same car picked her up in the morning, specifically on the days when I had left for work early. I confronted her again, stating that the footage showed frequent occurrences of her being dropped off by the same exact car. She looked like a deer in headlights when I said that. She downplayed it again, saying it was just her coworker and I was making a big deal out of nothing. I explained that the hiding and lying about it was concerning, not necessarily the act of being dropped off. Why the secrecy if it was so innocent? She became defensive again, attempting to turn it back on me by suggesting by checking the footage was obsessive and paranoid.
Well,
She's not helping her case. After an hour-long argument, she finally agreed that, yeah, it was weird, I guess, that she hadn't mentioned it. I asked her directly if there's anything romantic or inappropriate going on with this coworker. She denied it, called me crazy. We have an open phone policy, though I've never felt the need to use it until this point. I asked to see her phone, and she handed it over. I looked through messages and found nothing that seemed suspicious or indicative of an affair with this coworker. There's a second phone. Despite this, I still have trouble believing her. Her initial lies, the shiftiness, the attempt to blame me for being suspicious, and the eventual half admission have eroded my trust. I also noticed that since the day I found out about the coworker dropping her off, the coworker has completely stopped dropping her off or picking her up, based on the camera footage. She's just going around the corner.
yeah, exactly.
To me, this looks like she warned him or tipped him off on my suspicions. Maybe even meeting further away from the house where the camera can't see. Literally around the corner.
Yeah, we were all in high school. We know how it goes.
Where are you going? Who you hanging out with? So and so name.
Just a
Okay,
friend.
get a pick me up around the corner.
Yep. Down the street.
Down the street.
No reason.
Don't worry about it. I can't let this go, but I'm also confused because outside of this specific issue and her weird behavior when confronted, I haven't noticed the typical signs associated with infidelity. She's insecretive with her phone, she hasn't become distant, and her general behavior hasn't changed in ways that would make me question her fidelity. We are both incredibly busy with demanding jobs and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old who keeps us on our toes,
Oh no.
which naturally limits our time together as a couple. But there hasn't been a shift in our dynamic that raised red flags before this. It's because you're not there.
They have kids.
You guys have kids, and you guys have incredibly busy schedules, so you guys really don't have time to see that from each other.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's cheating, but my man, her case is not looking good.
Right.
I feel like I'm going insane, and I really am struggling to find a logical explanation for this behavior that does not lead to the conclusion that she is cheating on me. I can't discuss this with friends without feeling like I am making her look bad. I'm turning to anonymous help, hoping for some perspective on whether my reaction is warranted or if I'm letting paranoia take over, and we have an update.
Oh
Angie,
boy.
how does one feel right now?
I'm betrayed. Because I mean, there's clear evidence.
Yeah.
And just because there's maybe different clear evidence now, it doesn't mean that it's like not happening. Like she's right. Like she was caught for being dropped off, like basically in front of the house, seeing the car.
The gaslighting you too. Like, you're crazy. Like, come on. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
what?
just paranoid. It's like
It's not
no-
that weird. Now it's kind of weird, I guess, but not really that weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You've been
it's-
lying about taking rides home every single night, and
right.
ugh.
Yeah. No, exactly. It is disappointing to say the least.
Update. My suspicions have been confirmed.
No.
This was after 13 hours.
Dang. He's updating us fast.
Thanks, OP. This morning, she had a later start to her day. This is not unusual, so I left for work before her. But after dropping the kids off at childcare, instead of driving to work, I came back home and parked farther up the street to avoid being seen.
Nice.
When she eventually left the house, she walked up the street and turned onto the main road where she usually catches public transit. I followed at a distance and saw her getting into his car that was parked there. We called it. Up until then, I had held onto a hope that she may have felt uncomfortable about these pickups/drop-offs after our conversation, and that she might have found a way to politely end them. But now, seeing her deliberately walk around the corner to meet his car, out of view of our camera, has confirmed that at the very least, my wife is actively collaborating with another man to conceal their interactions from me, her husband. A faithful partner who would never need to do something like this. I am heartbroken and shaking with rage, but I won't say anything to her. I'm going to hire a private investigator to find out the full extent of their relationship and then proceed from there.
Oh, wow.
Thank you to everyone who offered their advice. And there's another update, and I saw the title.
Yeah, I saw it too. Dang, a private investigator, man. That's intense.
He got Magnum PI on the case.
Yeah.
And it looks like
Let's just.
it looks
We
like
all
it
saw
wasn't
it.
that- it didn't take that long.
Yeah, let's just go right into it.
Update number 2. The affair is confirmed.
Mm.
Again, it like from the very get-go, the lie to
Yeah.
like, you caught me, but I'm gonna resent you, and like, you're weird, you're crazy.
Right.
And she kept
one is
doing
surprised.
She did it. She was like a high schooler.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just gonna go around the corner and like he'll never find
Easy.
out.
Easy. It's silly.
She's a dunce, but she also sucks. But let's see this update. After 17 hours from the original post, or maybe the previous update, who knows? I wanted to share that I have confirmed the affair. Wow, we're not shocked. I waited outside her office building and saw her leave around 12:30 p.m. with him. They went across the street to get food, then drove to a nearby park and stayed in his car. They ate lunch and chatted, laughed, and they made out. Not just kiss.
No.
They sat in the car and made out like effing teenagers. I took a video. See, you didn't even need you didn't need a PI.
Yeah, save your money.
Save your money.
You've got it.
Then they left and went back to work. La-di-da-di-da. I don't know how I stopped myself from approaching them and attacking him then and there. The thought of doing something rash and losing my children is probably what stopped me. I am now home and struggling to process what I saw. I feel completely devastated and a profound sense of loss for our family, our children's sense of security, and my own self-worth. I've never felt so completely hopeless in my life before. I will keep it together and move forward for the sake of my children because they are innocent in all of this. By the way, you're innocent until proven guilty by going to full episodes with stories just like this one. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. There we have, I think right now, 65 days worth of stories and content
So many.
and counting.
Yep.
So get started right after this.
Yep. You got work
Angie,
to do. Yeah.
what do we do? I mean, it seems like OP is got the right mindset, do it all for the kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, lawyer up,
Yeah.
Buttercup.
If you really, if you wanted to do this in like a petty way,
Mm-hmm.
drop the kids off from at school.
Yeah.
Okay. If she has a late day, drop them off, come back home, be like, hey, they actually don't need me today. They said that I can go home, or I'm gonna actually start later today. Okay. The wife is still getting ready for work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or to see this man.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're in the living room chilling out, and then you cast that video onto your TV, and just watch it.
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm crazy. That's a little weird,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
She comes in.
Yeah.
She comes in to leave for work, and she sees that. What movie are you watching? Or you're like, hey, like, babe, there's this really cool movie I need you to watch, and then it's just them making out.
Yeah. It's To Catch a Cheater.
Yeah, exactly. And then have it out then and there.
It's called, or it's like, what's that movie? It's called, it's we're divorcing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there's a little bit left. Let's go ahead and close this up. I am currently contacting divorce attorneys and scheduling initial consultations. I do not plan to confront my wife about what I saw until I am advised by my attorney. I will keep my distance until then. The volume of responses and attention my posts have received is incredibly overwhelming. While I am grateful for the support, reading comments and different opinions while processing the betrayal is too much right now. I will delete my account, but will leave my post up so I can review the advice later when I am in a calmer headspace. At this moment, I am unable to make significant decisions and will rely on legal advice from an attorney to guide me through the next steps. Thank you to everyone who offered support and advice. OP, yeah, it was kind of then and there, the get-go. You don't deserve this, but shout out to your camera. Shout out to you and your instincts. You knew something was up. You knew something was wrong. It's sorry that you found out like this way. You found out this way.
Right.
But yeah, just you already know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Just follow the legal advice.
Exactly.
Stay low key until it's time, and then just move on and
Right.
just be the dad that you need to be for your children.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're on your way for that. So good job.
Yeah.
Our baby's skin turned different. Now my husband is accusing me of cheating.
Different how?
He, 26 female, and my significant other, 29 male, just had our first baby. We are over the moon when we discovered the pregnancy, and we were both really excited to have a child together. We wanted to get married next year, and everything was going great. We were happy. By the way, this comes from Wrong Race Baby Throw. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we both look very white, pale skin, blue eyes, brown and blonde hair. However, my great-great-grandpa was black, and some of his features have popped up here and there in our family. Kinky hair, darker skin, and more black-looking facial characteristics. My significant other knows this and has seen some of my adults and uncles and cousins who have these features. I, however, don't have any myself, and neither does my mom. Our daughter was born 5 days ago, and I guess she just got all the dormant genes in me because she's really dark-skinned compared to us with really curly hair. I think she's adorable, but my significant other flipped. He accused me of cheating and that the baby couldn't possibly be his. I've never given him a reason to suspect me of infidelity, and I've certainly never cheated. We argued about it. I pointed at all my cousins and other relatives who have black features, but he absolutely refused to listen and said our daughter looked too black for that to be a plausible explanation. He stormed out of the hospital, sent me a text an hour later that we were over, and when I got home from the hospital the next day, he wasn't there, and most of his personal belongings were gone. I tried to reach him, but he didn't answer my texts or calls until 3 days later when he told me that he demanded a paternity test to prove that I was a liar, and if I refuse, I'll never see him again. I'm completely broken down and hurt over this. For our entire relationship, he's been so sweet and rational. This is completely unlike him. If he just calmly asked for a paternity test to begin with, I would have been hurt, but I guess I could understand the concerns. Our daughter looks nothing like him. But I don't think our relationship can survive this, even when I proved to him I wasn't lying. Should I go through with the test or just cut my losses here and raise her alone? And there is an edit. I decided to get the test done. I'll update you all when I get the results. I'm still angry, but I guess I understand him a bit better now. There are some relevant comments. F racism throwaway says, that's your decision to make. However, in your situation, I would do the paternity test either way. If you decide to leave him, it's a nice big F you to him. And if you decide to stay, he gets his peace of mind. It's a win-win situation, really. I'd be hurt as F if my significant other accused me of cheating, even though I've never shown any signs of it. However, I don't know how I'd react if I had a white girlfriend and the baby came out black. This is probably a 1 in a million type of situation, so I really can't say anything else about it.
It's not a 1 in a million type situation.
Yeah, like,
the baby's not black.
This
the
is a
baby
different-
has like it's seemingly like more Afrocentric features because OP's family does.
Exactly. It's like, this isn't just a situation where like the whole
Yeah.
family is
White
white and
as
all
can
of a sudden
be,
that
and
comes
then-
out. Like that, you know,
Yeah.
sure, I would raise some eyebrows at that, but
yeah.
but like
But
this
then
is
I'd
a
be like,
different
oh
situation.
wait, let's look at OP's entire family and be like,
right.
oh yeah, I can see where those features. It's like being,
Yeah.
like having two, like you're married to a person that has completely straight hair and you also have
Right.
straight hair, but your entire family has curly hair,
Right.
and then your kid has curly hair,
Yeah.
and the husband's like, how does the kid have curly hair?
Right.
It's
Or
like,
like red hair or something
Yeah,
like that, and the
yeah.
parents don't have red hair. It's like, well, skips generations, guys.
come on, let's
We
do
can-
some.
We can just do a little haha about this and be like, oh wow, haha.
Yeah,
Doesn't look anything like me.
yeah.
But it's still my child. Jersey Blue Claw says that you're going to need a DNA test for child support, so you may as well get one now. What you choose to do about the relationship is up to you, but you're going to need the child support. OP responds, wow, I've been so caught up in this whole drama and taking care of the baby that I hadn't even thought about child support. You're right. I'll get the test done, if only to make sure that the baby gets the best life possible. Burned Notice says people are surprisingly ignorant of how genetics work. Anyway, get the paternity test just for his peace of mind, but understand that your relationship is irreparably broken and that he may sadly never show your daughter the sort of love or affection a father should show his child. This is a heartbreaking situation. I feel most for the baby and you, of course. But that little girl is going to face a lot of challenges in life looking like a black child to white parents. Talk to your more black-looking relatives about this and do research on how to talk to your daughter about her ancestry and prepare her for some of the more stupid, bigoted, ridiculous things that people are bound to say. OP responds, yeah, I imagine things are going to be hard for her, but at least she has a loving mom and a family who can relate to her. I just hope my boyfriend or my ex, I don't even know anymore, will come around and treat her with the respect that he couldn't afford to give me. And OP makes a comment on her family history. 4 generations back, my great-grandpa and all her siblings look really black. My grandma less so. My mom's generation is the first to have completely white-looking kids. And I don't think so. My friends joke that my butt is so big that I must have inherited that, but I don't think big butts are an actual racial trait, just more of a stereotype. Plenty of white girls with big booties. And there is an update of 5 days later.
Ooh-wee. I'm
Wow.
hoping that I think what should happen, they stay divorced. They get divorced because this is not something that you can come back to easily or come back from easily.
Yeah.
And he finds out that this kid is his, and he's like so overcome with guilt
Yeah.
that he was like, I'm gonna raise this child properly.
Yeah, he would have to do so much effort to like earn my trust back after he just accused me of not trusting me, to like make me forgive him. He would have to do so much.
I don't even at this point for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not even like, oh, I would forgive him. I just want him to parent his kid.
Right.
That's like
That's the most
my
important,
ideal
for
outcome.
sure.
Yeah.
So updates 5 days later. Hey guys, first of all, I want to thank all the original commenters who helped me see my significant other's side and calmed me down enough to take the test. Well, the results are in, and of course, she is his. The whole process was absolutely ridiculous. I got an appointment with the doctor and texted significant other the time and location. He didn't answer, but showed up, and the entire time he didn't say one word to me, and he didn't want to touch or even look at the baby, and left as soon as they had taken a sample, despite the doctor asking him to stay so we could go over a few things. Once he left, I just broke down. And I must say, the doctor was really nice, didn't judge me or accuse me of anything, just calmly went over how the test works and told me babies are often born darker than they actually end up being. Baby was an absolute champ, barely fussed when they drew her blood. I got the results yesterday. I texted significant other to the news and asked if he wanted to come over and open it with me. After almost half an hour, he finally responded, yes, he'd like to come over. I'm thinking he either sent it while on his way or he's not staying very far away because he was here in about 15 minutes. Well, we opened it and read the positive test together. He turned white like a sheet and then just started bawling. I had to shush him because he was crying so loudly. And finally, I got an explanation for his flip out. I mentioned in a comment on the old post that he was an only child to very old parents. His dad passed away a few years ago and his mom lives alone a few hours drive from us. I haven't met her often, but she seems pleasant enough. Turns out she hates me. She absolutely hates my guts and always has. I had no idea about this. She's always acted kind of snobby, sure, but I had no idea that she disliked me this much. When significant other called her to tell her the good news 8 months back, when we discovered the pregnancy, she started crying. He never told me this. And as the months passed, she continued being super negative about the whole thing and saying that she doubted the baby was actually his. I was below them. Poor people cheat because they were raised in effed up environment. What the F?
I'm
Sophie
sorry.
says.
He's okay. I'm calling you right now. I mean, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell OP, well, my mother, she spent months telling me that you would cheat on me, and then I saw the baby, and the baby wasn't what I expected the baby to look like, and I just snapped.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I had a family member
Mm-hmm.
who was going on and saying terrible things about my partner who I was
Yeah.
having a child with,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
None of this makes me understand him.
No.
more. Or maybe I understand
Yeah, it
what
doesn't
he's saying.
excuse it.
Not at all. Not
I would
at
be
all.
like, oh, okay, so you listened to your mother for months while she just
Yeah.
spewed vitriol at me
Right. We
and
didn't even
stand up for me.
Yeah.
And then when you saw the baby, instead of talking to me, you believed your mom.
Right. You believed that I could possibly cheat on you.
Are you
even
gonna
though-
believe mommy every time?
Come on.
Every time something comes up about me, you're gonna believe mommy?
Oh, you poor victim. You poor victim. And instead of talking to me about this, significant other kept silent while constantly doubting me more and more. Baby being black just put the final nail in the coffin that his mother was right and I was a good for nothing cheating witch. After telling me all of this, we just sat in silence for a while. Finally, he asked if he could hold the baby. I was still angry as heck, but decided that holding her was his right. He's her father after all. I went and got her from her crib, let him have her, and he started crying again, which scared her, and she started crying too. So they were just sitting there bawling together for a while. Finally, he stopped, handed her back, and asked if he could come home. I was kind of taken aback. I didn't expect him to just flat out ask that already. I laid out everything I said in the last thread, how insanely disrespectful and childish he had been, how he'd horribly broken my trust, and hadn't talked to me about his mom's poisonous and ignorant comments, completely ignores me for 3 days, not telling me where he is or if he's even alive, and then he just waltzes in and wants to start living here again. I told him if he ever wanted to have some inkling of a chance of mending the relationship, we had to go to couples therapy ASAP. And from now on, he will answer my calls and messages unless he has an emergency and can't. He will not be staying here for a while. And finally, he needs to tell his mom to back the F off. She will not be seeing the baby until she apologizes to me in person. And you guys can always see us or listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime because you've got full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just like this one. There is a little bit more to the story. I like that she's setting some boundaries.
Me too.
I would be so pissed.
I would be so mad.
Pissed, dude.
Oh, okay. But I do appreciate that she's not letting him off easy. She's like, you're not
Yes.
staying here for a minute,
Finally.
and you have to put up all these boundaries with your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, this is what
Yeah.
you did wrong. This is what you did wrong. Like, the entire past few days, have been terrible, and you need to fix that.
And also, I think he needs to do some like inner self work because he had a lot of thoughts on his baby daughter about her race and like how she looked. And I feel like you need to really, really question your internal biases.
Yeah.
Because you're about to parent a child who does look darker than you. And there are, like the comment said, there are going to be people who question that, people who make comments about her. Do you know how to take care of her hair? Because it seems like she has curly hair. You know, like you have to be on top of this.
Yeah.
Because you already let your biases take you away from your newborn daughter.
But there is a little bit more to the story. He immediately agreed and finally told me how sorry he was for this whole fiasco. I'm not sure if I can forgive him for this, but I'm gonna try. We had an amazing life before this, and I hope that with a lot of work, we can have it again. My significant other also finally told me that he was staying in a hostel, but it's not very expensive, so he can stay there for a while longer. The baby is doing great considering how many stress hormones she must have been drinking from me these last few days. Her hair is falling out, but the doctor told me that it was normal and babies often lose most or all of the hair that they're born with. I'm hoping her new hair will grow in blonde. That would make her even cuter. Thank you all for your help on the last thread. My mom agreed with many of you and thinks I'm absolutely nuts for trying to work things out, but I think it'd be best for everyone if we at least give it a shot, especially the baby. And that is the end of that story. I walked in on him cheating. Would you forgive him?
No, I'd walk out.
My boyfriend, who I'll call Kay, and I had been dating for 4 years. After high school, he asked me to move in with him in a different state. I agreed so that we can be together while we attended college. By the way, this comes from Mayano Kiori, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we are not experts, people. We are just here to give good advice goofily. We haven't experienced all of these situations. So if you have, let us know what you would do or have done in the comments. And OP says, over the years, we made amazing friends here, and he was just as kind to me as when we first started dating. Cute, awkward text messages, surprise gifts, and flowers at least once every 2 weeks. We had a date night every Thursday after work as well. He also told me he loved me at least once a day. Well, last week, I got out of work early. I was in a good mood because Kay had sent flowers to my workplace and ordered me Chinese for lunch because I had mentioned that I had a taste for it the night before. On my way home from work, I picked up some of his favorite donuts and went home. When I walked in the door, I could immediately hear the sounds.
No.
Gross. I walked to our bedroom to see that our friend Ellie was on top of him.
No.
My heart dropped. They'd known each other for 10 years, but they were never close, or so I thought.
Yeah, they're really close now.
They're
as
pretty
close
close.
as you could get.
They're pretty close.
They didn't notice me until I dropped the donuts.
Not the donuts.
The donuts.
Was it like the
Oh,
box fell, or like all
man.
the donuts came out like
One by I'm
the
like, I was
floor.
like picking up one and dropping it.
yeah, like frosting first?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Just chucking at them.
Right. They quickly covered themselves up, and Kay got up to try and explain the situation to me, but I wasn't hearing any of it. I packed a bag and left to my friend's house. I spent a week at my friend's house wondering if I wasn't satisfying him enough and what I did wrong. Both Kay and Ellie bombarded me with messages trying to explain themselves. Kay told me that it just happened. He said that this really was the first time and it wasn't planned at all. That I should know that this isn't the real him.
Of course it is.
What else could
Was
I mean,
it? I don't know. Was it your clone?
we're not in the metaverse right now.
No.
This is you.
This is you.
This is you.
Exactly. He explained that she came over and that one thing just led to another and it was a mistake that he'd do anything to fix.
That's not how things lead to each other.
Yeah, I feel like you also wouldn't feel this way right after you're finished.
Yeah,
Like
like
if
you were just doing it.
yeah, like if she didn't walk in at that same point in the day, you would have still
You'd have kept
like,
going.
You wouldn't have felt this way.
No.
So the only reason you're saying this is because she saw you. He sent me pictures of an engagement ring as well. Love bombing. Terrible.
Whoa,
Ellie-
that's insane.
Ellie messaged me as well, saying how she never meant to hurt me and that it wasn't supposed to be this way. I decided to call my friend Ian and explain the situation to him. I asked him if he'd be willing to come with me and help me grab my things while Kay was at work in the morning. I explained the situation to my friends and family, and they all agree that leaving is the best option. I will be taking all of my things and flying back home. My parents have sent me the money for a ticket, and I'll be moving back in with them for the time being. I don't plan on telling Kay anything. He will just come home to a partially empty apartment. And there are some relevant comments, but I want to hear your comments first.
Break
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Break up.
Yeah.
They have no excuse for doing that. All
No.
of their everything they've said is just so stupid.
Yeah. The excuses don't make sense. I
No.
didn't mean to hurt you, but you
Okay.
did mean to do something that would hurt me. So like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
You meant to sleep with him,
Yeah.
and it hurt me. So that's kind of
Right.
where we're at.
And you knew that would happen. Survey says on that
Babe,
one.
it's not what you think. I love you. Here's a ring.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
crazy.
crazy.
That's
Come on.
crazy.
Come on.
There are some comments. Cusco's dance partner says, I've unfortunately been cheated on in a few relationships. It's always an automatic deal breaker. There are no second chances. There is no going back from that. There's no reason they could give that makes it okay. I don't understand why cheaters think an explanation will make it all better. You did absolutely nothing wrong. None of this has anything to do with you and everything to do with your ex and Ellie. I also agree with a few other comments. This is not the first time it's happened.
Agreed.
It's just the
No
first time
way.
he got caught.
No
For
way.
sure.
It's the first time this
Yeah.
has happened.
For sure. Why was she coming over in the first place?
Yeah, why
huh?
was she there?
Why, like, one thing couldn't just lead to another? If
Not how things lead to each other.
It's not how it works, dude. And him sending a photo of an engagement ring was a low blow. If he was truly in love with you and sincerely wanted to marry you and spend the rest of his life with you, he would not have been engaging in the behavior that he was. It's a heart-crushing thing to go through, and I'm so sorry you are having to experience this. The Takashi. Okay. I'm a guy, 2 relationships, 3 to 4 years each, 2 end with lots of cheating on me and lying. Then I second chance them, and obviously it didn't matter, and the cheating kept going. Like, why don't you leave me first? Especially the second relationship, because we agreed that we would leave each other first before cheating. And she even said, oh, I'll never be that low and disgusting. Not saying this to counter you, but reinforce the no second chances thing. My first relationship didn't try to explain it away. They literally just said, I'm done, but then still slept in the same bed. And then the second pulled a crying move and anger at looking through her phone. So I forgave her, but I knew it was over. But of course, the cheating kept going.
Yeah, it's just not worth it to try and work. Like, it's so hard to work through that to rebuild trust.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like, he's actively lying about, this being the first time, about why he did it, then you're not going to get anywhere. Because if you don't restart the relationship with just complete honesty, then it's doomed from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have an update. So thank you, everyone, for such supportive messages. For anyone who didn't see the update on my page, this is what happened. As planned, my friend Ian and I went back to the apartment in the morning when I knew Kay wouldn't be there to pack my things. We packed my things into our cars, then went to have them shipped back to my parents' house. I got on my phone to look at the security cameras, and Kay was throwing things around and acting like I'd never seen before. He'd always been very level-headed, so that was scary to me. He called me at least 100 times, but I'm not going to answer. I decided to take your advice and block both him and Ellie. I'll be on my flight back to my parents tomorrow morning.
Smart.
Yeah, sorry it took so long for an update. A lot of crazy things happened after I got to my parents. As I was getting settled in, it turns out that a mutual friend of ours told Kay what I was doing, and he thought that it would be a good idea to come to me in person and beg for my forgiveness.
That's actually the worst idea.
100%
Don't
the
talk to
worst
me.
thing to do. Yeah.
Get out. Shoot.
To be honest, I almost had a moment of weakness until it became apparent that he didn't come alone. He brought Ellie with him.
No.
That is crazy.
They're gonna hit worse.
This is
sorry.
premeditated. Oh my goodness.
God. That is so insane.
Wow.
He said that it was because he figured, with her also guaranteeing that it wouldn't happen again, I would believe him and go back to him.
That's
crazy.
insane. The logic there is not logicking.
Ellie also decided that this was the best time to admit that she was pregnant and that Kay might be the father.
Ah! I'm breaking up. She's already breaking up. I think she
Right.
already broke up
She
with
broke
him.
up and left the state, and they followed her by plane. That is so insane. How dare you? How dare you follow me to my parents' house in another state?
Get out.
Just to tell me that you're pregnant?
That's insane. Why would I care?
Leave.
It's not my kid.
I'm gonna call the police.
Bye-bye. Go
Oh my
take your kid and
gosh.
go.
Oh, Kay said that even if he was the father, he would only be there for the baby. That his heart would only belong to me. Oh
We
my
already
God.
know that it doesn't. And
is
why
so
is Elle
crazy.
telling you that? Or Ellie?
Yeah.
Why is she the one who's like confirming that his heart only belongs to you?
I was furious and my heart was broken all over again. This also made it very apparent that it was indeed not the first time.
Yeah.
Because Kay wouldn't leave. My younger brother, 18 male, also came out and started calling Kay and Ellie all sorts of things, and it led to a physical confrontation. My little brother shoved him, and thankfully, Kay took that as a sign to leave. This is all such a huge mess. I don't want to see Kay or Ellie anymore. I don't want to hear excuses. My heart feels like it's been ripped apart. They can have each other for all I care. And we do have an update. Another update. What?
Oh man, you just need to leave them all behind.
This is so insane.
Leave them all behind.
That is so-
Restraining order.
Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, a restraining order.
Yeah, if he keeps bothering you,
Yeah.
honestly.
But we do have another update. I'm sorry for the late update. Don't be sorry, OP. I've been going through a wave of different emotions. First, I'll address some simple questions I got. I didn't drop out of college. Thankfully, prior to this whole incident, I was already taking online courses. I do plan to move back, but in my own apartment later on. Now, as for what happened next between Kay and I, he came back twice to try and apologize and ask me to reconsider. He reminded me about how I said I have never felt this way for someone before and that ending this would be a mistake. That we could work through these problems if I gave him a chance. I told him that I don't plan on being a step parent to his mistress's kid, so even if I dismissed the cheating, which I made clear that I wouldn't, I'd break up with him because of that. He began crying and saying that he would try to change her mind about the baby if it meant that I would go back with him. Whoa, that's crazy.
About having the baby?
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
that is crazy.
Genuinely, like, leave OP alone.
I hate them both, but to be honest, hearing that made me feel disgusted. I told him that we were done and he needed to leave. The second time, my dad threatened him if he didn't leave the property. From what I hear now, he went back home. And we do have another update.
Oh man,
goodness.
it doesn't stop.
It doesn't
They
stop.
just don't quit.
I
Can't
think-
stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm always saying.
I think we should just rush right into it.
Yeah, run on it.
Yep. Update. Hello, everyone. It's been quite a while, around a year, I think. I had to pull away from everything for my own mental health, especially after I made that careless late night post. But I truly appreciate all the encouraging comments you all left for me on my original posts. I thought I would give an update in case anyone here was wondering about what had happened after the mess. I'll start off by saying no, I never got back with Kay, and I never will. If any of you remember my friend Ian, the one who helped me pack and get out of that situation, well, we started dating about 5 months after that situation and have been together ever since.
Oh, okay.
How wonderful.
How marvelous.
He's helped me every step of the way in moving on from what happened, and I'm so grateful to have him. As for Kay, for the first few months, he was doing everything in his power to attempt to contact me, including showing up outside of my workplace. I went to the police, but they told me that there was nothing they could do since he didn't do anything yet. I then heard that while he was doing all of this, he was dating Ellie, and she didn't know about it. I told her to get her man, sent screenshots, and then blocked her again. By the way, I hope you never block us, because you can listen to full episodes of more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
How does he do it, folks? How does he do it?
How does he do it?
I just can't even believe it.
don't understand.
Don't understand it.
My goodness. There's a little bit more. I hadn't heard from either of them since, but a friend told me that she got pregnant for real this time and they had gotten married. They got divorced recently because she cheated on him.
Shocking.
Go figure.
Shocking.
And that's the end of that story.
These people suck.
They
OP, I'm glad
suck.
you're rid
the
of
good
them.
old
Yeah.
what goes around comes
Yeah,
around.
glad
you
you're rid
know?
of your
Literally.
terrible friend Ellie and your terrible partner,
Oh my
whatever his
gosh.
name is. My wife cheated with her ex. Now I might lose my kids.
Wife and kids, the worst double duo ever.
I, male 52, lost my first wife 10 years ago. At the time, I had 2 daughters, now 21 and 24. Life went on. After about 3 years, I met my current wife, female 38. Met innocently enough, basically kept bumping into her at various places around town. Never really talked, sometimes made eye contact. We would point at each other at a distance and just smile. Then one day, getting my car worked on, she walked into the waiting room while hers was worked on also. So we finally had a long conversation. We went across the street to get real coffee as the service centers was bad. We talked about an hour, then I was paged. Mine was done. I asked if she would like to do lunch one day to continue talking. We exchanged numbers and set a day to meet up. By the way, this comes from What About the Kids? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We dated 2 years, then married. She has 2 boys now, 10 and 14. They moved into my house. She's been living with her parents for 3 years. My girls love her. Not as a stepmom, but as a big sister. Although having another adult in the house with 2 teenage girls was a blessing. Life is grand. I love those boys as if they were my own. I want to adopt them when they can make a decision on their own. The little one calls me dad. The oldest, it was awkward. I told him to call me what he felt comfortable with. So my first name. The girls called her by her name. Wife is a stay-at-home mom. We decided until the kids were adjusted. Now she doesn't want to work, but does volunteer at school lunch and other things. Daughter 1 goes off to college, now graduated. The younger daughter graduated this past morning. We are moving the rest of her things this weekend. I was told her ex abandoned them about the time baby number 2 came along and has been no contact since. Her mom is very nice, but holds me at arm's length. He is an alpha dog. I don't think he wanted anyone else taking care of his daughter, only child, and grandkids. He would berate me because I was too old, not much younger than them. This would be any time I was around them. I'm non-confrontational, so I told wife I would just stay away from them. I did encourage her to continue the relationship as they only live a couple blocks away. February this year, her ex reappears, wants to be in their lives. Sketchy at best. I cannot refuse this. He starts coming around often. I set a boundary that he comes on weekends so as not to interfere with school and so we can control his visitation somewhat. He comes most weekends, but really spends little time alone with the kids as we try to give him space. I asked wife if he had made any child support payments while he was gone. I suggested to her to talk to him about getting caught up on whatever he owes and to ask about signing over rights so I could adopt. She said she would talk to him. First part of March, our spicy sleep life starts to dive. Know where this is going, right?
No.
But I'm oblivious. I mention it to wife. She has the usual excuses. I notice little things around the house are different. My favorite snacks are gone, missing a few adult sodas. Not a big drinker, just one every now and then. But the big one was I could smell what I thought was devil's lettuce. I asked wife if she was smoking, as we don't. She hasn't. I thought the now 14-year-old was, suggested we talk with him, and she says she would handle it. About 2 weeks ago, the 14-year-old asks me if I love mom. I said yes, thinking he has a girlfriend. Time for a talk, right? He says that we always sat together and we were touching each other some way or other. This made him feel good. He asked if mom loved his dad. I responded that sure, on some level she does. Why asking? Replies that they are always looking at each other, talking and touching, and he is over all the time. I asked what he meant by all the time. Almost every day when they got home from school, he's there, then leaves. Yes, 14-year-olds ratting out the freaking scummy parents.
No.
He's like, you know what? I like my stepdad. This isn't okay. I'm going to be like, what's love? I'm just a 14-year-old. He's coming over. Like, 14-year-old absolutely knows what's going on. And I feel like he's playing kind of dumb to be like, I didn't know it was a secret. That weekend, I'm in the living room. He is over for visitation. He comes in and sits down across from me with an adult soda. I look up from my reading and tell him to help himself to an adult soda. He says nothing. I ask why he isn't with the kids. I could hear laughing coming from the family. He said he might go in a little bit. I tell him I will not drink in front of the kids. I wait until after they're in bed. He says nothing. He then states, you know, I'm only here for her. What does that mean? You're talking about my wife? He says technically not divorced. He never signed papers, so she's his wife. I know a judge signed off on the divorce because he could not be found. That's why it took longer to divorce. I finally asked about the child support since I never heard back. Just looked at me and said he was caught up. Paid her $15,000 in cash. WTF? I asked then if she talked to him about giving up rights. Never asked. He asked what it would be worth to me. I said, you gotta be kidding. You would sell your kids? Before he could answer, I told him to leave. The next day, this past Sunday, the kids were at Grandma and Grandpa with wife. I bought and installed a camera. I put it on top of the TV, very small. It has a view of the front door and living room, motion activated. So I'm at work. I get a notice, figure it's the wife cleaning up. I look anyways. He comes back, lets him in. They kiss long. He starts grabbing at her. She playfully pushes away. They're laughing. No sound. He sits on the couch. She brings him an adult soda and snacks.
10 a.m., she disappears. She's back a few minutes later, clothes changed, going to school for lunch. They're talking, more grabbing, more pushing away, laughing. A few minutes later, she's up getting ready to leave. He gets up, grabs her again, making some gestures, then poses like he's praying, hands together. They sit down again, then she gives him spicy time. Finishes up, goes out of range, comes back, says something, then leaves. He then watches TV, then takes a nap. Screen eventually goes black.
Dude, oh my gosh. He's not even, oh God, this is the worst thing ever.
This sucks. A little after 1 p.m., another alert. She's home. They talk. They both leave the room. I know they're headed to the bedroom. I race home and find them. They never heard me coming. There is the hysterics you would expect. Slithers out. I tell her she has to go. She pleads it was a one-time mistake. He had just got there. She was lonely because we weren't having spicy sleep, etc. I called BS. I asked how often he came over. Just the weekends. This was an anomaly. I showed the video of him napping. She said he was tired and asked. Then I showed her the other spicy stuff. She had nothing to say. I told her to pack her bags. She's out. I left and called her dad to take them in. We were having issues. He, of course, takes alpha position, telling me how I would screw this up. Yada, yada. I couldn't get a word in. Finally, I stopped him, asked again. He said yes, then started on me again. I had enough. I said I would send him something. I sent the video edited down to the spicy stuff. I told him to view and call me back if I was wrong. Never heard back. I talked to lawyer Thursday. He helped with estate plan after first wife, referred me to a partner who does family law. We'll meet Tuesday. Divorce will happen. He felt but did not know for sure that I would be on the hook for support for kids. No alimony since she broke our prenup. I made it up before marriage in addition to estate plan to protect my girls. I don't care about the support. Glad to do it. It's the boys. So my question or advice needed, has anyone else been through divorce and was able to see their ex's kids, even if they're not yours? How did that go? The 14-year-old is partially vulnerable as he will be in high school next year, formative years. I don't want to see him go down the tube and turn out like dad. Thanks to all in advance. And there is an update. Got home Sunday, put daughter's stuff from apartment in garage. I get a call early evening from 14-year-old. Dad, what's going on? No one's talking to us. Mom and grandma are crying. Grandpa's yelling. Is this because of what I told you? I assured him that his mom made a bad mistake, that he had nothing to do with this mess. He asked if I was packing up their stuff because he saw the U-Haul in the driveway. I explained what happened and that all their stuff would remain there. Monday and Wednesday were sports night. Family sits in bleachers while I stand behind home plate backstop. My usual spot, since I don't see eye to eye with father-in-law. On the way across the field, the oldest stops to warm up and runs over to me. We hug and talk a few minutes, then I send him back. As I get to my spot, I have a 10-year-old crash into me at full speed. I bend down, hug and kiss him all over as he is squirming away. My father-in-law asks if we could talk. We step away from earshot. He apologizes for the way he has treated me in the past and that he was wrong. Well, a little late, but I accepted and said I knew that it was a hard thing for him to do. He invited me to sit with them. I declined. He asked if I wanted to talk to wife. I said Thursday would be better, so we set time and place. Tuesday comes. Meet with lawyer. I told him the whole story. He knew from his partner, but wanted to hear from me. He asked what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay with the boys, then stay married. The boys were most important. He stated in his experience that the marriage would be a charade and not good for the boys. We could work out a visitation if wife is willing. As far as support, he said I could do what I wanted for the boys, not to give her anything for me to control. The prenup was solid, violated conditions, no support. Caution, though, that judges around the country have in some instances ordered child support in my case due to being in their lives so long. He did not think our judges had ruled that way in the past, but you never know. He was sure her attorney would seek support. Suggested that we try to agree on everything we could before court, then the judge would look favorably on us. Yeah, I think see if you can be in their lives before you try and before you stay married. Before leaving, he told me that every Monday morning, the partners meet to discuss new and ongoing cases. My previous attorney started out describing everything. Each partner has a specialty, estate planning, elder law, criminal, liability, family. Later in the PM, the criminal lawyer meets up with my attorney. After the meeting, he calls a contact in the prosecutor's office. The $15,000 did not seem right. How do folks in the middle class have $15,000 in cash laying around? Turns out X did not abandon them. He was in jail. Was released 3 years ago when feds were releasing nonviolent criminals to ease overcrowding, etc. He was sure the police would be interested if he was back and
practicing his profession again, but he did not have any other info but the jail time. Thursday, I meet with wife and father-in-law. I asked if they minded if I recorded so there would be no misinterpretation later. They agreed. Before we started, wife wanted to talk privately. Father-in-law moved to another room. Wife started to apologize. I cut her off. I said, before you say anything, know that I know a lot more than you think. I asked how long the spicy sleep had been going on. She said the one time. I told her the video shows that's not true. I played a clip of her dusting the TV. Never saw the camera. I know it was only a few days, but she was going to lie, so I was too. She thought it was part of the video game. Not big, but it is obvious on top of the TV. She admitted since March almost right away. I told her no more lie. I told her of the family secret, that he was in jail, not running away. She admitted to this also. I asked how long in contact since February. I asked if she met up any time before him appearing. She said no. I then told her he had been out for 3 years. We got father-in-law back in. Turn on recorder. I asked if she had a lawyer. No. Told her to get one because the divorce will happen. They both asked if something along reconciliation could take place. I said no. I said I wanted the boys. She could live with X. I told her when speaking privately that X tried to sell me the boys. I repeated for father-in-law. We settled on the boys could see me any time within reason. She would not keep them from me. I said I would provide at my choosing. She would get no support. I did not want her getting the boys to ask me for things. They would be honest if I asked. There you have it. One last thing, Redditors, the wife and I are avid readers of this site. We have our favorite subs. We would read and share. It was a thing we did together. She has read my post as she figured it out, and she read every reply you made. Stated you savaged her. I mean, come on, girl. Come on. You said many things I only wish I could have because I did feel it. For that, I thank you. I don't know, like, how do you go on Reddit and read all these stories and then you're like, well, I'm gonna do something that I read about.
My ex-boyfriend cheated on me before the most important day of my life.
You gotta at least wait a day. Come on.
My 26 female, ex 33 male at the time, had been together for 4.5 years. We had a rough start, and honestly, he showed all of his red flags at the beginning, and I chose to ignore them. We met through a mutual friend and hit it off right away. I was gone the first month of our relationship for a family trip, but we talked every day. When I got back, I started seeing how bad his drinking was, so I brought it to his attention, and he tried to be better, such as sticking to a certain number when we were with friends and such. And by the way, this comes from user ExoticSelf4439 on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you come on down to the r/OKStorytime subreddit? Submit them there. So I finally asked if we could take the weekend and be sober and talk again on Monday and have a clear conversation. He, of course, went out with someone else, and I got a call from his sister that night saying he hadn't come home yet and asked if I was with him because he told her I would be. I said no. And after a lot of chaos, I got him home and went over to talk to him the next day because at this point, he was never going to stop for at least a day. I sat down as he cried every time I had to remind him what he did. I said, as much as I care about him, I don't want this from my life, so I'm okay if he wants to be this person. I just can't stay around. He quit cold turkey that day, 3 months into our relationship. He decided he couldn't trust himself without me around, so he moved in with me right away, and then the vid hit. Real quick, he and I definitely come from different backgrounds. I got everything I ever needed growing up. I have a good, loving family, I went to private schools, and was working on my bachelor's degree. He, on the other hand, had a rough life growing up. Lots of substances and getting mixed up in bad news, and once was ambitious, but after a bad previous relationship and a bad accident, he fell into depression and drinking. During the vid, things were pretty bad. I'm a really happy person, always optimistic and ambitious, and always had a goal in mind, and nothing was going to stop me from getting there. He wasn't always like this either. We had plenty of times where we were happy, cooked together, took long rides together, enjoyed the life we were living, with the more than frequent fighting and tears. I got a job after graduation, waiting for the vid to end so I could go to grad school. It was always the plan, and I told him from the beginning I couldn't stay in our home state to do what I wanted to do, and he agreed. He has never lived anywhere else but the small town we met. After 3.5 years since we got together, I finally got into grad school across the country and was so excited to be almost there. I saved up money for the entire year so I wouldn't have to work while at school and he would have a job to help. He, of course, was apprehensive but agreed to go with. I did give him the choice, but I was going with or without him. We moved, and boy, oh boy, I didn't know what we were in for. We had never lived in a big city, and it made both of us more depressed, but I was still excited to get my degree and worked hard for it. In the meantime, during the year and a half it took me to get my master's, he failed to find a job, so I paid for everything, and that washed out my entire savings. He did try, but for some reason he had bad luck or it didn't feel right to him. I'm not too sure, but I was not happy. You're sure about that? While we were there, I found out I had some health problems that contributed to me not feeling, like being weak and losing hair, finding spicy sleep painful, and just overall a shell of myself. He was relieved to hear that there was something wrong with me, and it wasn't that I was unattracted to him. But to be honest, I had been through so much, I think to an extent that was true. I started treatment, and it's taking me all the way until now to feel like myself again. He wanted to excel in his passion of weight training, so I thought I could help support him since he was supporting me for my dreams. He thought he could start something back in his hometown, so he started flying back and forth to work on his goal. I was supportive. I just wanted him to finally be happy and finally maybe help pay for a life for us. He'd be gone anywhere from a week to a month at a time. Finally, the day came. I was getting ready for family and friends to fly in to see me graduate with my master's. This was the most important day to me because I never got a proper graduation due to the vid, and I got a job offer in the field I'd been working my entire life to get. This was my dream finally coming true. Something had been bugging me that something wasn't right between us. This was one of the hardest years of our lives, but before I began my new chapter, I needed to know everything. As we were going to bed, he was downstairs shutting everything off, and I decided to check his phone. I found in his deleted messages messages to a girl clearly flirting, calling her all the names he called me, saying spicy sleep is better with her, how he wanted to be with her, sending pictures and more. And more?
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
Staring longingly into a bowl of ice cream like,
No.
yeah, no, that guy is a red
That's
flag.
crazy, dude.
Mm.
No, I was listening. He cheated.
He's bad, and you knew he was bad the whole time. You said that you saw the red flags, and you were just like, no. I'm sure there were probably more girls and more messages, but I didn't get that far. He came upstairs, and I told him to stop once he got to the door. I told him I was going to read to him what I just read, so we could both be on the same page. I didn't get too far into reading before he tackled me for his phone and ran out of the house to his truck and drove away. I called my best friend, who was flying in that night, also the friend that introduced us, and she was shocked. When he finally returned home, he said he had deleted everything from his phone because he didn't want there to be anything else that I could misconstrue, but promised that was the only girl? Buddy, what do I look like I just blew in from Stupid Town? What? This is
Yeah.
another classic. There's no list.
There's
What
no
list
list.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
There was never a list.
What do you mean? I didn't even bring up a list.
What are you talking about? There was never anything in my phone. Look, I deleted it.
Look, I deleted it.
And also, you misunderstood what that even was, which is why I deleted it, because I hate
Yeah.
just people misunderstanding me.
But also, that was like the only girl that you could have misunderstood anything about.
Mhm.
It was the only girl that I cheated on you with, but also you misunderstood. And so
Yeah.
I'm just deleting so you can't misunderstand anything else because it's your fault.
Mhm.
It's your fault, and I was right for tackling you to the ground.
It's like the equivalent of like you're walking down the beach and then your partner just grabs your phone and throws it into the ocean like that.
Literally.
And they're like, no, I was saving you actually. The
Yeah.
phone is dangerous. Yeah. The phone was dangerous.
yeah.
Because
it's
I
like-
thought maybe if you accidentally walked into the water, it would like shock you.
Like, no.
So I just don't worry
No.
about it. Also, whatever you were reading, that must have been a fanfic that I deleted.
Right.
I saw his phone again, and sure enough, he deleted everything. His phone was totally wiped. We had a big fight, and he would now sleep on the couch for the rest of the week while I celebrated with everyone who came to support me. We didn't really have time to talk with everything going on, but the night before my graduation, he and I went to pick up food for everyone and talked. He was weeping, saying he's never been a cheater, he doesn't recognize himself, and I don't deserve this. I saved his life. I'm a good person. Blah, 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 blah. I said I have never been this selfish to him, and this was the most important thing I was going to do in my life, and he tainted it. He suggested couples counseling, and I said, sounds great. You're going to pay for it, and he nodded and hung his head. On to the day of graduation. I was on cloud 9. I walked across the stage, threw my hat in the air, and I turned around to where my family was, and I see him, and all I can do is cry. Cry because I was finally here, and then cry harder because the one person I thought would be even more happy for me was the one who broke my heart into pieces, and all I could see was a stranger. Festivities went on, and he didn't come to anything. After I had dropped off the last of my family at the airport, I was alone for the first time since all of this and cried all the way home. When I got home, he asked me what was wrong, and I told him I was alone for the first time, and all he did was say, "Oh." And I looked up at him and said, "You're breaking up with me." He nodded his head and said we should talk.
I'm sorry, what? How did we get there? How did we get there? How did we get there?
So he's going to be like, honestly, I just can't respect you anymore after you didn't break up with me when you discovered that I cheated on you.
Honestly, like, the fact that you went through my phone, the fact that I had to tackle you just so that you could stop is, like, really crazy, and I should never have to do that. I hated doing that more than you hated being tackled.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yeah. This guy needs to get Oklahoma drilled.
That's crazy, dude. For real.
I assume the tackle was into, like, the bed.
Yeah,
or
it probably
something.
wasn't,
I assume the tackle was not, like, a full-form linebacker tackle.
Yeah, but, like, still trying to
But
physically tackle you to get the phone out of your hand.
Physically manhandled to get the phone out of the hand.
Because
And then
he didn't
leaves,
wanna
runs
be-
out of the door and leaves, and then comes
Yeah.
back and he's like, well, thank God I deleted all that stuff so that you wouldn't be
Yeah.
confused anymore.
That's insane, dude. Now he's breaking up with her?
Yeah, that's crazy, girl.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
So sorry.
I hope that every time he goes to a restaurant, they're always out of whatever he wants to order. I hope that so hard, dude.
I hope your cold gazpacho is always warm.
Yeah.
You fool.
Gosh, man.
It was a long night, but I wasn't going to change his mind, and nor did I want to. 2 days later, he flew his dad out, packed up his car, and left back to his hometown after 4.5 years. I did try reaching out to the girl, just seeing if she would talk to me. I'm not mad at her completely, but I just wanted to know, and she blocked me without saying a word. I do now know she was married with kids. This is a woman he never wanted me to get to know. Anyway, I only talked to him if it had something to do with logistics, but after everything was said and done, I never wanted to talk to this man ever again. He was the worst years of my life. He was going to propose to me, but before he left, I gave him back our promise rings. I then moved to a different city closer to the job I got, to a place we had picked out together with no family and no friends, just my 2 dogs, which is a blessing because without them, I wouldn't have made it through these 4.5 years. And by the way, you can make it through anything as long as you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. I'm talking Spotify, I'm talking iHeart, I'm talking wherever you listen to podcasts. You just search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and you'll have access to 68 days worth of stories to listen to. And by listening to those stories, you can jump over tall buildings in a single bound. There is a little bit more here. Honestly, there's nothing to say. It's like this guy cheated on you. He's moving out. You're doing good. Let's finish this story. Superman. I moved and made a lot of new friends. And 4 months later, I met someone who is from my home state and in a similar field as me, and we have been inseparable since. He has his own dog, works at the same place I do, and after 1.5 years together, we're a happy little family and are looking to the rest of our lives together. I'm still working at my dream job, living in an amazing place that feels much better to me, and I'm happier than I've ever been. As for my ex, I blocked him and everyone that was associated with him, and I haven't heard anything about him besides that he got into a relationship with a woman his age with many kids. Honestly, the complete opposite of me. I'll be honest, I hold a lot of resentment in my heart that I have been working on, but my amazing boyfriend now has made it easy to feel at peace, and show me what real safety and love and loyalty feels like.
Aww.
Beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Look
and
at
what did it say? Did
that.
it say that they had a dog together or that he had a dog?
He had a dog. And she had 2
Aw.
dogs, and then their dogs became dogs.
That's so cute.
I think my boyfriend is cheating with his ex.
Is it because he's boinking them?
So my 23 female boyfriend, 28 male, soon to be ex, we'll call him Simon, and I have been together for 4 months. He's had an on and off ex-girlfriend, we'll call her Abby, who he and our mutual friends who have met her have described as crazy and willing to make up lies to ruin Simon's future relationships. Red flag, I know. But there was a lot of convincing evidence that suggested that she was actually crazy. By the way, this comes from Will F. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Simon and Abby were together for 2 years on and off in a very unhealthy relationship.
Oh no.
They officially broke up for good about 3 months before I met Simon. We got together and I had concerns that he wasn't over her, but he convinced me it was all fine. He was amazing, attentive, loving, and wonderful in so many ways. Simon was always way more into the relationship than me. Not that I didn't like him, but he was the one to beg me to be official when I would have rather dated for a bit longer. But I'm a pretty chill person and was fine with it. But he seemed so into me to the point that I even felt a bit guilty because he was so sure of us and I was a lot more laid back. Been away for work the last 2 months. He travels all over on boats and can't get signals a lot of the time, so communication can be a pain. About a month ago, his ex found me on Instagram and commented on my pictures of the two of us when I'd gone out to visit him, calling me stupid and calling him an effed up person. I assumed it was jealousy. Cut to today, I was on Facebook and was looking through my messages and had a random urge to look in my other folder where all your spam goes or messages from people you aren't friends with. I had a message from Abby. The second I saw it, my heart was thumping and I felt anxious. Part of me wanted to just delete it as I thought she was still a crazy ex then, but I opened it. She told me they'd been sleeping together the whole time I'd been with him. Blah, blah, whatever. Of course she did. But at the bottom, she'd attached 3 pictures of him with his wiener out.
No, not pee-pee's out.
Pee-pee's out.
No, pee-pee's out.
And they were all taken in a room I recognized on the boat he's working on. So they had definitely been sent since we were dating. I've never had an iPhone, so the only tiny 1% chance he's not been effing around is that she hacked into his iCloud. Can people do that? Oh, here's the other thing. He's asked me to come out and visit him at the end of his work. I've paid for over £1,000 worth of flights, hotel deposits, and trips for it. How do I get this money back after I've broken up with him? I'm so effing mad at him. He's a crap, and I've wasted so much money here. I am 100% done. Whatever he says, he's clearly been effing around. To add to this, he currently will have no signal for at least a week, so I won't get to talk to him until then. Thanks for any advice. Edit, I was mad and now I'm sad. I've never been cheated on before. This is effing crap. Edit 2. So it turns out after the fappening hacking scandal, Apple introduced new security measures so that anytime someone logs into your iCloud from a computer, even one you've used to log in before, you automatically get an email notification telling you.
Girl, it doesn't matter because if you weren't being sent those pictures, why do they exist? You know, if you've been dating and
That's
he's
what
not
I-
sending you those
If you didn't
pictures,
get
who
them-
are they for?
I guess if she has hacked him, he'll be able to prove it. I specifically asked him if she was able to access any of his accounts when she first commented on my Instagram, and he said no. Edit 3. Because so many people keep asking, the pictures are definitely not old ones from when they were together. They are from the boat he is working on. He has never been on it before. Trust me on this. And there is an update. Just a quick update as I still haven't spoken to Simon or Abby. Firstly, a lot of people asked about the pictures and whether they could have been old pictures. They're definitely not old. Also, I mentioned this in a comment and a Redditor commented that it was an important detail. These pictures were all taken at the same time. Obviously, he took a few and picked the best ones. I've only seen one of them. 2 are new to me, but very similar to the one I received. So I talked to my friend Kyle about the situation as he is close with both me and Simon and had met Abby on many occasions. He's worked with Simon for 3 years, been friends with him for 5 years, has been good friends with me for 13 years. I know he would have my back over Simon. He told me that this was all horse crap, basically. Simon was working with Kyle before he left. Met Abby and seen text messages she sent Simon after they broke up, and he said they were the most vile, angry things he's ever seen. He said she hates him to an obsessive degree. Along with that, they lived together and shared laptops, etc. This has made me so confused. I was so certain he had cheated, and now I'm starting to sway the other way. Also, the thought of a girl crazy enough to fake months of cheating and spicy texting, having access to the messages I have sent to Simon is unnerving. Now it seems like there is a little bit of doubt.
So you did get
You got one of the pictures.
get a picture.
It seems like she sent OP kind of multiple versions of this picture, which to me could just mean like he took a couple and then picked the best one.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it was I thought she was saying that she had already gotten one of them before.
Yes.
Okay.
My point is that, so ex-girlfriend sent OP all versions of this picture, and OP was like, oh, well, I got one of them. And so my point is, if she like hacked or somehow got these pictures, it would make sense. Like, it's not, like, question makes sense if he's like, before we were saying, oh, like, why didn't you get the picture? But she did get one of them.
No,
Yeah.
man, it's weird.
So I think there's cheating is for sure, like, seems likely, but I think there is a world where maybe if she's crazy enough and they used to share a computer.
I guess it's plausible, but also hate and love are like neighbors or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like someone who says all that stuff, it's like they could also, it's a toxic relationship. Sometimes people get hooked on that.
Thank you to everyone that commented. I really appreciate all the comments, even the very blunt one. I'm going to be logging out of this account for the next week. Well, I can't speak to Simon, otherwise I'm going to drive myself mad thinking about it. My productivity at work today was shocking. Gotta make the bacon. I'll update after I've spoken to him or if there are any new developments. Thanks, guys. And there is a second update. I meant to update earlier, but work's been pretty hectic. One of my department passed away suddenly last week, which has been terribly sad and difficult for everyone. I've also been putting it off because I was embarrassed. Sigh. So Simon got back on dry land Wednesday last week, when I was planning to sit down and ask him about all of this. I know a lot of you suggested only talking to him about it in person, but I won't be seeing him in person for some time, and I'm not exactly great at hiding my emotions, as you can tell from the original post, Nuclear Tantrum. So last Saturday, I spoke to my best friend Lucy about the whole situation. After the second post, I was very calm about the situation, and I was quite sure he hadn't cheated, but there was still a slight chance. She asked me what Abby had said in the message, so I reread it. That's when I realized something big. Abby claimed in her message that Simon sent her those pictures on a certain date, we'll say the 5th. Simon's phone had broken on the 1st. I reread our WhatsApp to see when he stopped messaging me, as that's our primary method of communication. He ordered a new phone from Amazon, had it sent to me, and I flew out with it on the 12th. During the time, he only messaged me on Facebook, used his shared work laptop. So, unless he loaded all of his phone wiener pics onto his boss's laptop before his phone broke and then sent them to her, which is ridiculous, he is completely innocent. I feel like the biggest witch for doubting him, and I'm so embarrassed. And I'm so embarrassed that this girl came between us. To be fair, the proof really, really pointed at him.
Seemed a little convincing, although
I mean, he still could have
if
lied
I
about
had
the
already
phone.
been sent that photo,
Yeah.
that's the thing that I was like, oh, well, clearly, if this is news,
Yeah, if there was no
if I have
photo.
never seen these promiscuous boat photography session photos,
Yeah,
then I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
but you have seen the photo.
Yeah,
so-
and also being sent like the Rolodex of them is
Mm-hmm.
also really pointing to like clearly you have access to an album of some kind.
Yeah. Like,
Because
why would
it's
he
like,
send you? Like, this
who
one
does
is
that?
terrible lighting. Why did he send you that one? So Simon came back. He knew something was wrong because normally when he's away, I message him throughout the day, what I'm thinking or doing and how I miss him. And he returns to about 100 WhatsApps. I didn't message him during the duration of this drama because I didn't want to say anything I'd regret. Yes, I know how hypocritical that is given my first post. I told him what had happened, that Abby had recent unclothed pictures of him. I asked how she could have those. Said something along the lines of, we've been over this. You know she could get on my iCloud. I've said sorry about this before. I was like, what the F? When? And then admittedly, I got a little bit annoyed. I knew that this was possible and I was terrified she could have pictures of us/me. But when the issue had come up a month ago, Simon had told me there was nothing to worry about. She couldn't access anything. So here's where we effed up. When Abby pestered me on Instagram, I got upset and asked Simon if she had access to his iCloud and could see pictures of us. He said, no, she can't. I changed it all, I promise. I thought that meant he changed it when they broke up. Simon meant he changed it when she sent him nasty emails and wrote on my Instagram. So yeah, we're both dumb, and our communication was kind of overshadowed by our wanting to be unclothed around each other. Sigh, honeymoon phase. Simon's pretty terrible with technology and passwords and stuff. Clearly. Let's just say he gets a lot of phone calls asking if he's been in an accident in the last 3 years or is paying too much PPI. But he's a lovely guy and cares about me. By the way, I care that you guys listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. I apologized profusely for thinking badly of him, and he said he understood. He told me if he'd been faced with the same situation from one of my exes, he would have handled it a lot worse, probably because he didn't see the mood I was in when I first wrote this post. We haven't heard from Abby since that one night when both the Instagram and Facebook messages were sent. So we're assuming she's moved on to a new guy, or at least doesn't care. I unsent the Instagram message to Abby before she ever read it. Thank God she isn't big on social media, apparently. And thank God that feature exists. So basically, I'm an idiot. I should have had a lot more faith in my boyfriend, and he's lovely, and we're still going on our way to early holiday together. I've never had issues with trust in the past, and this was a pretty unique situation, so I don't think we'll have a reoccurring problem with trust here. And that is the end of that story, folks.
Boyfriend needs to either get tech savvy
Yeah,
or he's
take
lying
a class.
still, because there is a way to log out of all that stuff. He's he's out on a boat at a week at a time. He's like,
out
I'm
on a
not concerned
boat."
with my iCloud.
Yeah.
I'm a man of the sea.
My friend is a cheater. I want to tell her boyfriend.
Break up with your boyfriend.
I've been incredibly close with Abby, 29 female, for the past few years. We travel together nearly constantly and evolved both of our self-employed gigs so that we could work together. She's been a very enriching part of my life, but I'm having more and more of a problem with her other relationships. By the way, this comes from Thoreau RA172727. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And this is where I've been stopping, throwing my hands up, and declaring, nope, that's none of my business. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to judge her. She's my friend, not my romantic partner. So I shouldn't be impacted by her romantic decisions, but I am. I like her current boyfriend, Elliot, 34 male, a lot. It's not that I'm interested in him, but he's a genuinely good guy in a world of crappy men. I've been able to look at how he treats her and even just how he responds during conflict and hold those standards in my own relationship. In short, he doesn't deserve how she has been secretly treating him. Abby has always had a cheating problem, and she's always dated problematic men where it was easy to make excuses for her behavior, but Elliot isn't like that. He genuinely loves her and treats her well, and she still goes off and sleeps with her ex when the opportunity presents itself. She still texts with guys she used to hook up with. A few months ago, she met up with someone new, a minor celebrity, because again, the opportunity presented itself and Abby loves doing it for the plot. I fully admit thinking that her DMing him was harmless in the way that you think your DM to The Rock would go unanswered. Obviously, it wasn't Daddy Dwayne. This guy is an excellent combo of accomplished, niche, single, and unproblematic. Abby ends up spending some bonding time with this man before he had to rush off to an event. I was tracking her phone the entire time as this was one of the very few adventures I was not joining her on. She filled me in through a giddy phone call after, and as always, I was happy she was happy. We talked about it a lot in the weeks that followed, including her blurting out the story to my boyfriend, who was less than thrilled. He views cheating very differently than Abby, thank God, and is frankly pissed off that she's put us in the middle of it. He hates that he now knows Elliot is being cheated on and feels he can't do anything about it. I've been sitting with it more and more, and all of this is getting to me. Abby always says she doesn't want to keep acting this way. She wants to change, but she doesn't seem to actually be trying. She still sees her ex whenever he comes into town. The ex paid for her entire birthday party this year, and she actually seemed annoyed that Elliot didn't want to know about how she got the location and who was funding it. Sometimes it's like she wants him to ask more questions than he does, but I can't understand why. I hate that she acts this way. On the other hand, is it really my place to have an opinion about how she conducts her relationships? She lies to him so much, and I don't feel like he deserves that, but I also don't know if she deserves me telling him. Besides, that would mean the end of our friendship. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, though the more I think about how much she's been lying to Elliot, the more I wonder if she's lying to me too. Abby has told me that I'm the only friend left she feels that she can truly be herself around because her other friends no longer want to hear about her cheating. I never wanted to tell her I didn't want to hear it either because I worried she'd go off to meet someone and not tell anyone since we all disapprove. The guilt is really starting to eat at me. How do I tackle these feelings about a relationship that isn't even mine? Update. It's been about 2.5 weeks since I posted about my situation with my best friend Abby and her ongoing cheating problem. I wanted to update the people who had asked for one and answer some questions that were asked in the comments. First, I didn't reply to the comments initially because there really wasn't anything meaningful to contribute. They were 100% in agreement. I won't say it was easy to read, but it was definitely helpful in giving me clarity on a situation I hadn't been looking at properly for far too long. No, I'm no longer friends with Abby. And no, I have not told Elliot the truth, and frankly don't think I can. I didn't want to bog the original post down with unnecessary details, but Abby and I both work in the adult entertainment field. My boyfriend knows and is supportive. Elliot knows Abby used to work in the industry, but thinks she no longer does. I do not pass judgment on other spicy sleep workers' decisions disclosed. That's a very complicated decision, and I'm incredibly privileged to be supported in the way I am. But even with my support, I've run into a past jealous coworker who used my job to pester my partner's parents. I'm frankly terrified of Abby doing the same thing. She knows all about what happened last time and how damaging it was to my relationship with my partner's family. If I do something that destroys her relationship, I'm scared she'll try to do the same to me.
I think she's just scared. I think that's why she didn't, do anything before. I think she was just like scared of, I'm gonna lose this friend. I've had this person in my life. But, she might get back at me.
And while I haven't done something wrong like cheating, that doesn't mean she can't do damage. Now to some comments. I'm not great with formatting, so I won't bother trying to put all of the quotes in here. My comment about Elliot being a great guy, I was thinking about Abby's exes when I was writing that. The last 2 men she was with physically mistreated her. I definitely got used to her cheating back then because I didn't see it as some crime against a loving relationship. They were brutal men. Elliot is nothing like them. That is what I was highlighting in my head, but I absolutely see the irony in juxtaposing Abby's behavior instead. Why I was friends with Abby? I'd give a brief overview, but it's truly irrelevant. In short, I chose a crappy friendship over being incredibly lonely. It's not a great reason, but it's the truth. The past few years have been a really difficult descent into multiple chronic illnesses for me. I'm trying to grapple with the emotional impact of accepting my disabilities. For anyone who has walked this road, you know what I mean. Abby seemed to understand me. We spoke the same language. She helped me process what I was going through. Part of why I have struggled with losing this friendship and seeing how harmful she has been is that Abby gave me so much. I learned how to handle my emotional reactions better, how to remain calm in conflict, tools that helped me verbalize what I need when I'm in distress. As for my boyfriend, like I said, we're on the same page with how I'm moving forward. He doesn't think it's worth the risk of Abby pestering his family or coming after me in some other way. I had gotten to the point of really wanting to confess to Elliot, but it's ultimately my partner's decision. I think some of you will be pleased to hear I have not lured an innocent angel man to his mistreat. He can't deal with his anger towards me because without resorting to aggression. The nasty things he says when he's mad would put the original thread to shame. And don't worry, he's already cheated. Abby was the only one I had to talk about all of the crap I go through with him. She wanted to help me leave. I wanted to establish a better support system so I wouldn't just take him back at once. I had thought for the longest time that he was just trying to isolate me, saying she was awful, but it turned out to be true. Now Abby's gone, and with her, about 90% of my social support system. By the way, you can support us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. We have more, but what are you feeling?
Well, I think, first of all, OP clearly is in a very unhealthy relationship, and I hope that you get out of that. I very much want you to get out of that, and I want you to know that even if you don't have the support system that Abby used to provide, it doesn't mean that you are not going to be a lot better on your own than you are with this guy.
Not a particularly cheerful update, but that's the by and large of it. I think about Abby every day, and I'm still very sad about losing her from my life. I'm currently refocusing my energy on rebuilding things with my boyfriend instead of planning an exit. It's not ideal, but I do believe he has the capacity for change. I did this all in one pass and don't have the brain power to revise it right now. Feel free to ask anything I didn't get to. Sorry to disappoint about not telling Elliot, but dealing with a new wave of pesterment and the ensuing anger from my partner would simply be the end of me.
Honestly,
XO.
fair. This is a little bit more a lot more complicated now.
Great new plan. Leave your partner.
Leave your partner.
Tell Elliot.
Yeah. Definitely don't tell Elliot right now, because I think that you have to deal with keeping yourself safe right now. Get out of this relationship.
My wife might have cheated on me. I've seen the evidence.
I don't know if might is the right word here.
Digging never helped any relationship, and I, 27 male, I dug.
What a great way to start.
Thank you. I had my shovel ready. Not that I was looking for anything, but my wife, 30 female, my wife's Facebook was left open, and I was curious. There was a brief conversation with a guy over the course of about a week in June 2011. It starts off innocently, and she even tells him to text her if he can keep it nice. By the way, this comes from user randomtway01, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I only have bits of the conversation, since I assume most of it went on in text messages. That's not a good sentence. You assume.
Yeah,
Don't assume.
don't do that.
But what I do have is that after about 5 days of chatting with some guy she's never ever met in real life, telling him that she is soaking
Oh.
with the winky face. What?
Maybe she went to the pool and jumped in with her clothes on.
Hey, you're soaking. What does that mean?
Maybe she went to a water park and got the big bucket of water dumped on her.
Was this the ice bucket challenge? No, ice bucket challenge was like 2015. He replies, then have your boyfriend do something about it, LOL. She then tells him that she was just giving him what he wanted. This guy that she never had ever met in real life before and only connected with over Facebook. We went through a really dark period 2 years prior. Oh, we miscarried twins
Oh,
in
shoot.
mid-2009. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Which caused her to have a serious depression, which is, again, reasonable.
Yeah.
And we had ups and downs for a long time. I thought maybe this was a time when she was depressed or angry with me, or I wasn't giving her enough attention. I checked our Facebook messages back around the same time frame. It was a very playful conversation. We lived, still do, together at the time, and I could tell that I was out of the town for the weekend visiting family. But our conversation including calling each other pet names, her telling me that she loves me. Why is it spelled that way? Very playful conversations with lots of LOLs back and forth. It looks like we were having a great night. A short tidbit, she messaged me. You scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Okay. Why is that relevant?
I compared the two time frames against each other, and she's having this conversation with me. This fun, intimate, and loving conversation with me, while she is telling another guy that she is soaking. It completely
Ew.
tears my heart out. It's 4:30 a.m., and I've been up all night since last night reading through all this stuff, and it's clear that she was the one pushing the naughty conversation and not him.
Yeah, because I mean, when she would say something like that, I don't think she's at a water park for real. And the fact that the guy responded like, okay, have your boyfriend take care of that for you. Like,
Yeah.
not me. That does kind of feel like, obviously he's not just cutting contact with her, which is probably what he should
Yeah.
do. But he is trying to be like, I don't really want that. Like, you figure that out yourself.
Yeah, and also the fact that you're snooping into, your partner's Facebook messages or any messages because you're curious. I mean, yes, it's bad, but that also means there's something wrong with your relationship. That
Yeah, like if you
Yeah.
had to get there to begin with, like what caused you to
it was just
look?
open. It was just like Facebook was open, and like I guess
Gotcha.
her account was logged in, and she was like, "Oh, messages. Let me."
Yeah.
That's not. Let me look at her messages because that's totally okay.
Right. And then
Also, you
that's
have a-
always tough too, because then like she can throw that back at him and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, now OP, you're not totally innocent in here. Obviously what she's doing is worse, but like,
Yeah,
You know?
it's just like that's already breaking the grounds of where is your relationship stand if you're really
Yeah.
uncomfortable on that part.
yeah.
I know that's not calling you out, OP. That's just in general. That's just like, oh, I have to snoop through somebody's personal messages because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I also found another conversation from January 2012 with a guy she had hooked up with before we were together, and she tells him that he makes her want to do naughty things because of how much she liked him in the past. Then she has to take a walk of shame to the shower because she regretted saying it. You still said it.
Yeah.
I could tell through the lead up that she was reluctant to say it, so I don't even know why she did. She still said it. In the 4 years since, we've had a wonderful 3-year-old daughter,
Oh.
gotten a dog, bought a house.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what to do. I have an appointment with a counselor on Friday that I will speak with about it. I don't feel like I can wait until Friday. If our daughter wasn't in the picture, we would be over right now.
Yeah.
This sucks because just hours ago, we were cuddled up on the couch together under the blankets while I was holding
Aw.
her in my arms for 45 minutes. We just
Dang.
talked and had a great and intimate conversation. I don't even recognize the woman who sent those messages to those other men. I don't have evidence that she actually cheated, since both of the other guys were in relationships at the time and shut it down real quick. So she didn't do anything with these men.
Yeah.
She messaged these men,
Uh-huh.
and it was the thought. And if she had the opportunity, she would have.
Yeah.
If they said yeah, sure, she would have.
yeah.
So that's not, giving her like, oh, clean slate.
right.
She tried to cheat. And in this
Yeah.
case, she actually did cheat because she messaged other men
Yeah,
things that she should only be messaging you about.
exactly. It's like, sure. I mean, like, physically, yeah, maybe she didn't do anything of that. You don't have evidence of that. But, like, that doesn't mean that you can only be upset about, like, if she crossed that line, you know? Because, like you said, you know, she's spicy texting these people. I think that would be considered
That's
cheating.
definitely cheating.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That is
Yeah.
cheating, OP.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people out there could be like, that's not.
Right.
To us,
Yeah.
I think we both agree that's cheating.
Exactly. Even if it wasn't, you don't have to be okay with it.
But it makes me wonder, how many other times did someone else go along with it that I don't know about? I can't even think straight. And we have an update. I'm going to go straight into it.
Go into it.
Yesterday started off horribly.
Oh, no.
I got 3 hours of sleep, if that, and wasn't able to eat anything at all day. I still haven't eaten as of Monday night dinner. Get some food. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
While I was picking my daughter up from school yesterday, while I was at the doctor, I took my daughter by the paternity testing clinic. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So I took my daughter by
Oh
the
my gosh,
paternity
because the
testing
daughter's
clinic.
3 and that was 4 years ago.
Oh boy. Yeah. This
Oh.
is. Fingers
Oh.
crossed. So I took my daughter by the paternity testing clinic. I lined up the dates. She told the second guy that she wanted to do naughty stuff with him 9 months and 3 days before my daughter was
Stop
born.
it.
My daughter is the spitting image of me, so I'm not too worried about it.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay. Okay. After I got off work at 5, I had to apologize to my boss for being down the whole day. I went to our other house. You have another house? Why do you have 2
Dang,
houses?
All right. Drop some lore there.
We are in the process of moving into a new house. Oh, okay. Not all of our stuff is out of the old one yet. Our memory keepsakes are still at the old house. I grabbed everything out of the box of things she had given me from the time frame of the conversations. It hurt. A lot.
Aw.
Stuck them in my trunk. I had the intention of waiting until Friday after I'd spoken with my counselor, but I just couldn't wait. You can tell something was off the minute I walked in the door. I also grabbed an adult soda after work to try and make the night easier. I just couldn't play a charade. I didn't want to speak or even look at her, and she could tell. When she asked what was making me so grumpy, I just told her we would talk after our daughter went to sleep. I filled the time from getting home to her going to sleep with random errands just so I wouldn't have to look at her. I ran to the market, came back, ran to get some fast food, took a shower, etc. Once her daughter was asleep, she said, "All right, let's get this griping over with," in a joking manner, like it was going to be a high charge on the credit card or something like that. I told her that how this night went depended on her complete honesty to me and to God, and she agreed. I asked her how many people she had slept with since we had been together. None, she says. I asked her how many people she had sent explicit photos to since we had been together. None, she says. I asked her how many people she had had inappropriate conversations with. She hesitated on this one and said, none. It was a disappointing answer.
Yeah.
Well then, OP, you got your answer. I then went on to read her our entire goofy, loving conversation from that night and asked her if it meant anything to her and if she remembered it. She didn't. I told her to keep the date and time of the conversation in mind. June 7th, 2011. Then, I pulled the picture of her conversation with the other guy at the exact same time and handed her my phone. Her face went white, shoulders drooped, and she said, "I don't even remember this, honestly," in a somewhat down fashion. Then I pulled the other conversation she had with the other guy about him making her want to do naughty things and showed her it. I told her I had a difficult time believing that she didn't remember that one since it went on for 6 months.
Woo.
It started innocent for the first few months, so I didn't really care. It was about 4 months in that it started getting inappropriate. So, how do you think she's going to respond?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it'll just be basic cheater responses of just like,
No,
oh my
you
gosh.
went through my phone. You can't do that.
Yeah, that. And then just being like, oh my, like it meant nothing. Like, I don't know. I don't even remember. So clearly it
We
didn't
have a
mean
kid
anything.
together. Like, I
Yeah.
love you.
Like, why is this a problem? Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember what she replied with.
Dang it.
He's good at remembering everything else.
Right.
By this time, my anger was just building and building. I went out to my truck and got all of our memories from that time frame. Every note she wrote, Every gift she gave me, we went through it all. I read all of what she wrote, her telling me she loved me, what a great boyfriend I was, how she couldn't wait to spend her life with me, etc. It hurt so much reading those notes. By the end of the notes, I was yelling. Oh, man. I know you're very angry, but you don't want to yell. You don't want to keep your composure, and especially in this moment. I showed her specific ones. This one right here. You told me you loved me and wrote me this note 2 freaking days after you told another guy you were soaking.
Ugh. It's a gross descriptor.
Yeah. I don't remember what all I said. I don't remember what all she said. It was just a long blur of tears and yelling. I do remember asking how many of those things she got me were sincere, because I didn't understand how she could be saying such sweet things to me while turning
Yeah.
around and saying all those things to the other guys. She said they were all sincere and she did mean them, but I don't know. I won't even be able to look at them anymore without being reminded of what happened. I can't give details because I honestly don't remember them. It culminated in her getting angry about digging up the past, right? What we called it.
Right.
Regretful that she said those things. She promised me over and over that she wasn't that person anymore, that she had changed after our daughter was born. I honestly do believe her on this, as I've found no evidence to prove otherwise. Our daughter helped lift her out of depression and make her a happier person, so I truly believe these messages might have been due to the dark time in our life. She did bring this up and said that she was just looking for someone to talk to, for someone to distract her. I don't know. Your boyfriend? OP?
Yeah, maybe that would be a person to turn to help her.
Yes. Having a daughter with somebody still doesn't negate that you cheated on your partner.
Right. Or like hobbies or friends or something. Like
Something. You wanted to rely on strange men
or
on the internet?
therapists. Like, yeah, come on.
I don't know. This is all a jumbled up paraphrase of what happened over the course of several hours. I thought getting it out in the open would make me feel better, but I still feel like crap. Yelling at her didn't help. The tears didn't help. Whatever consolation she had didn't help. It still hurts just as much, and I still can't sleep. I don't think I've ever been cut this deep. That's a hard rhyme.
That is, yeah. Keep that in mind, anyone that makes songs.
She said she would move out if that is what I wanted. I don't know what I want. I want the happiness we had back. I want her to have never sent us messages. Half of me wants to punt her to the curb, and the other half of me wants her to stay just so I get to see my daughter every day. And by the way, I want to see you every day. Listening to full episodes with stories just like this one, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. We are at the funny number of 69 days.
69 days. 24 hours each day full of our content.
And it's just growing. So
Exactly.
we have a little bit left. Let's go ahead and finish this story. I guess I will try to clear that up on Friday with my counselor. Good. I wish this had never happened. I wish she could have talked to me instead of the other guys. I don't know where to go from here. The love is gone. The trust is gone. And the first 2 to 3 years of us being together is now tarnished because I'll never 100% know what she has said to other people that I haven't seen. I don't even want the memories of us being together for those first years now. Oh, I guess I'll just take it one day at a time and see where it goes. If there had been any inkling of indiscretion after our daughter was born, that would have been the end. But with it being so long ago without any evidence after those messages, and believe me, I looked high and low, I just don't know. I don't want to blow up my entire life, but I don't want to feel this way forever. Any advice? So, and that is the end of that story.
Oof.
That we said our piece again.
Yeah.
Take it. You know, it's one of those things where you just can't rush this.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be fixed over a day or even a month. This is gonna be a thing between you and your partner, and see how you feel. If you really think the trust is gone, you can no longer trust your partner, and you're gonna be having that thought in the back of your head. I think you call it. It's not fair to you. And it's not fair to your partner as well, because yes, she cheated, but now you're like, every day you'd be thinking, did she cheat? What if this? What if that? It's the what if game, and that's going to eat at you more than it should.
Yeah.
My best friend accused me of cheating on him platonically.
It's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I'm in the middle of an ongoing argument with my best friend. My female, 19, best friend, male, 19, and I have been close for 3 years. I have quite a large social circle, but it has always been common knowledge that Matt is the person I am obviously fondest of. People know that, and it's no secret that we spend most of our time with each other. By the way, this comes from user SoftSavings4126, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So things were absolutely fine until this week. I was invited on a 5-day camping trip with some of my course mates at college. We spent a lot of time together and wanted to celebrate the end of the semester by saving up to go somewhere. For reference, Matt isn't part of this group because he does another major. So it didn't really come up in conversation before this point because he hardly knows these people and it didn't seem like a big deal to me. The trip is scheduled for the start of August, and I told Matt at the start of this week that I was going. He went silent, and when I asked him what was the matter, he said that it was weird how I put that much money and time aside for people I've only known since September. I told him that's ridiculous because we spend a lot of time together as a group and we're good friends. He still went on to say that we've never traveled together and he's got 2 years on them. Then he said, it's like I'm a platonic cheater, quote unquote. I feel bad because my first instinct was to laugh a bit because honestly, I didn't expect him to come out with that. But he hung up the phone and wouldn't answer my texts. I don't know what to do about this because I can't find it in me to apologize. I'm not a cheater. And I feel like he's making me out to be the a-hole for having friends besides him. To be honest, I think the reason we've never traveled alone is because it'd be a solo trip between two members of the opposite sex, and frankly, it'd feel like dating territory. It's just not appropriate, and I'd rather travel in a group, but Matt's friends aren't my friends, and my friends aren't his. It's not that I think he'd come on to me or anything, but I think that's the type of thing I'd rather reserve for a boyfriend. By the way, this will be my first traveling experience done with friends rather than family. So, am I the a-hole for choosing to vacation with relatively new friends instead of my best friend of 3 years? So there's an edit here from the next day. I rang Matt today after reading the comments from this morning, asked if we could meet up to talk in person because I'm not happy about the silent treatment. We argued on Wednesday night. He said he'll come over after his shift on Tuesday, so I guess I'll update if we resolve. I'll probably be the only one doing this because I don't want to drag the situation. So, whatever. He didn't apologize over the phone, by the way. And there's some more comments here from OP. A commenter says, he seems to think you're his girlfriend or something. Right. OP says, people do often mistake us for a couple. Commenter says, not the a-hole. You are allowed to have other close friendships and go on trips with whoever you want. Matt is acting possessive and framing your choice as betrayal, which is unfair and emotionally immature. It's okay for him to feel left out, but it's not okay to guilt you over it. You've done nothing wrong by saying yes to a fun opportunity with your college friends. If he values the friendship, he'll talk it out once he cools down. OP replies, thank you. I'm trying to assure myself of that, but he has been a rock for me. So he's kind of got me thinking I've betrayed him in a way, which sounds crazy, but I don't know. I mean, like, there's something to be said about, like, completely abandoning, like, old friends for, like, the new hotness or whatever. But I don't feel like that's what's happening because you told him about the trip a week before it happened. You were actively hanging out. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, do we know how old these people are?
19. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like, it feels like a very high school thing. I know 19, you're out of high school now, but, like, it feels like a very high school thing to not understand that, like, people can do things without, like, either the entire friend group or, like, without everyone that you know. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big thing to go on a trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gross.
But, like, even though it's a big deal, it doesn't mean that everyone has to be involved.
Yeah.
Just let it be.
Come on, guys. Another commenter says, Matt is obviously into you and not telling you. So OP says, please no. Top comment is, girl, I think your friend likes you. Why else would someone come up with platonic cheater? Give me a break. OP's like, I thought it was because we're so close. Am I effing dense? No, you're 19. About being more than friends, OP says, I'm starting to worry that is the case, which I don't think would end well because we have been so close and opened up about so much that it's almost too vulnerable, you know? Like, our relationship is not a casual friendship. We know deep things about the other's life, and I feel like that's too intense for a budding dating relationship. Does that make sense? OP continues, I guess I would have to interrogate him over that. I feel like in my head he's always been an off-limits person because we're so close. And so even when there were times I considered us being something more, I never entertained the thought. It's weird. He's off limits, but not because I would never be attracted to him or anything. He is attractive, objectively. Before we were actually friends, my first impression of him was that he was attractive. It's because I don't know or think it would work. I don't know. I'm just yapping now. Another commenter says, not the AO. I don't think Matt is into you necessarily. I mean, it's possible, but there's no certainty of that. And I wish people would stop suggesting that just because they're of the opposite genders and best friends. I've had plenty of jealous friends that weren't romantically interested in me, and I have been scared of being replaced in friendships before when I was much younger. OP, maybe plan a day trip with Matt, something that takes a few hours or so to get to so you can go there and back without having to get a hotel room and all the rigmarole. Go to a city, see some sights, do something fun, eat good food, and have an honest talk about the jealousy. Reassure him you're not going to disappear or replace him, but you have separate lives, and that's a good thing. It means you'll always have new stories to share. OP says, it's a relief to hear you say that because I've had the same jealousy over girlfriends, and I'm completely straight, probably, LOL. And so it's not outlandish that he just feels replaced in a platonic way. And there is an update 2 days after the original post. I think he likes you, dude.
I think so too.
No one throws around the term platonically cheating.
Yeah.
If you're not like so obsessed with that person that you're like, I want to go, I want to go on trip with you. Me.
Right.
Or
It's
maybe
just
19.
you're just so young. You're just so young and stupid, both of you. I mean, maybe not OP, but it's just such a young
It's a little
person
silly
thing to be jealous of, like, your friends hanging out with other friends. That's a stupid thing to do when you're young.
Yeah.
And if he's having these feelings, like if he's having these strong feelings about wanting to go somewhere special with you, it's very possible that it's because of more feelings.
Indeed. Let's get to the bottom of this. Update 2 days after the original post. Things are kind of resolved, but also up in the air emotionally. In short, Matt came over and it started off pretty heated because I was quite mad. I said he's completely overreacted and it was immature of him to ignore me for nearly a week. He didn't say much and he had his head in his hands for a while, which made me go quiet. He kept saying, I know, I'm sorry, I feel stupid. So I just came out with it and asked if there was something he needed to tell me because I want to know. At this point, I was crying, LOL. I was a little riled up, to say the least, so he hugged me and said he loved me and he was irrational and jealous. Can't lie, I thought we were going to kiss, but we didn't. I don't know what's going on here, but you guys weren't crazy. We talked more about why the trip bothered him so much, and he kind of echoed what you guys theorized. He felt left behind and said out of all of his friends, I'm the one he values the most, and he'd love to do something like his first friend holiday with me. Neither of us are that well off and have only been on a handful of trips with family when younger. And by the way, you can listen to a handful of episodes with stories just like this. And by a handful, I mean like over 2,800. All you need to do is go to Spotify or iHeart or your favorite podcast platform and search OK Storytime. And you can listen to our whole archive.
Yeah, it's like a handful, but like if it was a giant's hand.
Yeah, if you had
scooping them all.
a hand the size of a subcontinent. Like
Yeah.
just the Amazon River basin.
Yeah.
Just
That's the only hand that all of our content would fit into.
Yeah. There is a little bit left. Clearly they like each other.
Yeah.
Girl, you want to kiss him.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about
do
that.
it.
Maybe talk about that.
And then maybe kiss afterwards.
Yeah, maybe. I can't lie. I was very nervous, very emotional. I didn't want to push it by asking explicitly if he had a crush on me, but I do acknowledge that the way we act with each other, like wanting to kiss, is a little more than wholly platonic. Maybe it's just one of those loves where you'll always have that attachment, but I need not materialize into a romantic relationship. I don't know. I'm still confused. Anyway, I think he was a bit immature at best. You could argue slightly possessive at worst. He said that when he said platonic cheater, it was ironic, which explains the theatrical wording, but the jealousy was obviously real. We laughed about it a bit and we enjoyed some leafy greens. I think we're okay. I mean, I'd love to hear your takes. I don't know. Someone will say I'm in denial. Ha. You are. You guys got to talk about that.
Yeah, it started off annoying, but now I think it's kind of cute. I think you both like each other. It's kind of cute. It's silly that he said that was ironic, saying like a platonic cheater, but then hung up after you laughed at that. Like,
yeah, that wasn't ironic, dude. You were mad.
Yeah.
You were upset.
Yeah. You just wanted to, I think he just wanted to be like, oh, it feels like you're cheating on me, but we're just friends though, like I promise. So
Yeah.
he throws in the platonically, but it's like,
Yeah, if we were dating, I would think this was cheating.
yeah.
Oh. And you're 19, so you're like, I don't know how to tell this girl I have a crush on her. What am I going to do?
Just hold hands already. Just go on long walks on the beach already. Come on.
Just go hold hands. But that is the end of that story.
My husband left me with nothing after he cheated.
That's terrible.
Trigger warning for cancer and chemo. I, 50 female, was married to my ex, 51 male. Let's call him Richard Wiener for short. For 25 years, happily together for 30.
I bet it was for short.
Yeah. Oh. We met at just 18 years old and spent the rest of our lives building a home and family. We have 2 daughters, now 20 and 23. He'd always been an amazing hands-on dad and affectionate husband. We were far from perfect. We're human after all, and I can be a witch sometimes, apparently. Yikes. By the way, this comes from Prof. Cancer Patient on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And OP says, nearly 17 years ago, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He had surgery and was fine after a few weeks of radiation. It was a shock, but we took care of him and made it through. The cancer never came back. Then in 2014, I was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer at 39 years old and was considered terminal.
Oh my Lord.
Wow. Our girls were 9 and 12 then. My cancer wasn't just the dreaded diagnosis with an ending. It became learning to live with it while simultaneously living in fear of passing away every day. And that lasted the whole 9 years. It was a constant roller coaster of emotions, good, bad, and scary. But we stayed positive and did so many things as a family to make memories and stay united. We were all pretty good at communicating, sharing feelings, and doing lots of listening, lots of I love yous all day, every day. 9 years of me going to weekly chemotherapy. The cancer spread first to my lungs, then a few years later to my brain. There were brain and lung radiations, multiple surgeries, endless doctor appointments, and hundreds of scans for me, for us. It was a family affair and incredibly difficult, but we made the best of our time.
Oh my God, I really am.
So hard.
I'm so glad I feel like this didn't happen in the United States.
Oh my goodness.
Because if this happened in the U.S., you wouldn't be talking about how we made the best of our time. You'd be talking about how you'd be generationally in debt and destitute.
Yeah, years of chemotherapy. My heart broke for him because he was stuck, you know? No one signs up to be a caregiver, and I felt he deserved so much more. He was so caring, kind, strong, thoughtful, and by my side 100% of the time, every appointment, every scan, every hard day. We went through so many ups and downs, there's nothing more we can do, and even made my funeral arrangements. Living in limbo was the hardest part. It was torture, and it took its toll. Then, after 9 long years, I was declared NED, no evidence of disease, and was able to stop treatment.
Ned. You got Ned?
Ned.
Declassified?
School survival guide. Not cancer-free just yet, but incredible news. I mean, yeah, 9 years. Our little family and community were over the moon, and we looked excitedly ahead, cautiously, of course. My girls who become young caregivers were able to have this weight taken off their shoulders for the first time in years. They weren't afraid to leave me anymore, and we were just so grateful. There were no signs, no talks of anything negative or upset feelings in any way. He was the same person he'd been all of our life. One evening, my daughter, 17 at the time, and I picked up my husband's phone to retrieve photos from the day trip we'd just taken. I also went to look through the deleted photos because each time he took a picture, I was like, ew, stop, I'm disgusting, and made him delete them. I was bald and not feeling sassy at all. So my thumbs were randomly hitting things when I came across his deleted messages. No, I had no reason to suspect him of anything. This man was my puppy dog for 30 years. The world spun around me, and he was not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
He was by my side 1,000% of the time, except while he was at work. That's where she comes into the picture. We'll call her JoJo.
JoJo Siwa.
Oh, no. JoJo, no.
Oh, God.
She worked with my husband for about 5 years, and I never knew she existed. She was married herself with 3 kids, all younger than mine, I later learned. Apparently, my husband at the time was very fond of her, another coworker told me. Back to the deleted messages. I saw a photo of women's legs, like she took it to send to him, and I thought, no way, my husband hates people and is very private. This had to be sent in error, but I continued to scroll. There were 30 days worth of messages and a few boring pics. They went back and forth. Flirty, where are we meeting up? And meet up behind the building. And I can't wait to be unclothed with you again.
Again?
So much more. I knew right then this was real. I woke his butt up from a sound sleep. He was on the couch downstairs around 9 p.m. and he played dumb. Denial.
Dang, I would
You've
have
got
woken him up
proof.
in the wildest way I could have possibly. I would have tarred and feathered this man out of his nap.
That's pretty brutal. He was acting all sorts of tired and confused about what was going on. I told him I saw the messages, and so did our daughter. She was with me while I looked for pics, and I actually asked her to help me find the folder I needed. I hate that she saw this. It makes me sick because I know how it's affected her. My other daughter didn't see the messages. She was in another room. We only told her about them, but she didn't want to hear the details. This is a man who treated us all like we were so precious, he could never. Every emotion under the sun multiplied by 1,000,000, then add some more just for good measure. He devastated our family and all our friends and extended family as well. No one could believe he would ever be that guy. I still can't. I punted him out. He slept on the couch, then went to work at 5 a.m., then to his father's house after work. The shame he felt making that phone call must have been hard since his mother did the exact same thing to his dad years ago, and he hated his mom for it. Ironic. I was in the ER coughing up blood that first night, and he took JoJo out to dinner. I went from feeling like, can you blame the poor guy? He's been through so much, to screw him. I'm going to make sure he's living under a bridge in the blink of an eye. I drew up a separation agreement, and we signed it. He didn't argue anything. I thought, wow, he must really want out. I went from treasured wife to stranger in days. It's obvious things changed for him at some point. He was under a lot of stress, but his boss paid him his salary, gave him bonuses and time off for any reason, anytime he needed it. Our health insurance was amazing, so we only had deductibles to pay. Once I said, I'm Ned, he flipped the switch. Now he can leave me and not look like a bad guy because I stopped chemo. His reason, he didn't even know he was unhappy until he found himself embraced in a hug from a coworker that turned into a kiss. That hug was a sorry for your loss hug due to a passing in our family. I spoke to 3 different divorce lawyers, and they all agreed that any healthy person has a hard time getting through divorce proceedings, never mind a cancer patient in poor health. It might be better for me if I could avoid the hassle of it all. If we agreed on my terms, that may be what works for now. Yes, I was off chemo, but after nearly 9 years on it, my body was weak. Never mind other serious issues I was having and still have. Ooh, she's a mess.
Oh my gosh.
That is just so much. Like, you just found out. You're not cancer free, but, no disease detected. And then you find out that your husband's been cheating on you for a while. I mean, like, unfortunately, this is something that does happen, I feel like, when you have long-term diseases, because it's just like a person who is the caregiver either grows apart or feels the weight of, like, caregiving and stuff, which never excuses it, but I feel like sometimes that does happen, and it really, really is awful that you betrayed your trust. Like, was this person that literally was caring for you?
Interesting psychology going on
Yeah.
with his mom having done that to his dad as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have driven him to do it in a way that he probably doesn't fully understand, as just like us. But it's weird that it was like a hug over someone passing, and then that turned into a. And he's like, that's when I realized I was unhappy. It's like, I don't know, dude. Just get away from me.
Yeah.
At this point, just get away from me.
Yeah. And he's probably rationalizing it like, oh, well, I can't leave her. I can't break up with her because she's going through all this thing, so I have to cheat. I can't tell her. It's like, no. We decided to stick to the agreement I made up. He needed to leave, but pay all the bills like he was still here. And we would address it again after our daughter graduated college. Currently, she, my other daughter, and I live peacefully in our warm home, living our best lives. He's still in his dad's house. He makes good money, has investments, and an amazing 401k, retirement, and stocks.
I just giggled at this comment Linda put in all caps.
I wouldn't divorce, I'd stay married and make him suffer.
honestly
guys,
justified crash out
Yeah.
about this. That's it's just an insane thing to realize someone had been doing to you all that time.
Yeah. Well, they were like supposedly, there for you 100%.
Like, you gotta think he was just waiting for you to go.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was just waiting for you to bite it.
Which is awful. Awful.
Oof.
I can't work. I'm permanently disabled now. I have ongoing medical issues and can't lose my medical insurance, which is through his job. I have nothing to my name. Even my Jeep is in his name, and the transmission is shot. I'm thinking ahead about how I'm going to get a new car with nothing to my name. We share the house, and that's it. I don't know what I'm entitled to, but I wanted to keep the peace for as long as possible so I could heal and the girls could have a new foundation. Now I'm feeling like I need to show the world what a dirtbag he is. We all feel like he got away with this. He seems like nothing in the world bothers him and treats me like I did something wrong to him. It's wild.
Okay, yeah, no, run his whole pockets.
Run all of his pockets.
Yep.
If I don't know, I hope you're not in like Ireland or one of these countries where you can't like actually divorce someone even when they do this to you.
Yeah, like hopefully you can get some sort of favorable outcome because he cheated. He has me convinced he's doing me a favor by allowing me to live here while he still pays the bills. I'm sure I would get more money in any divorce settlement than he pays now. I continue to take the high ground so he has his privacy, not to mention my girls and her 3 kids didn't ask for this mess, and it embarrasses them as well. I also don't want him to lose his job, selfishly, even though I think he should. He's just waiting for me to pass away, it seems. He's a knucklehead to my face, but a perfect gentleman when it's in writing, like emails and texts. Yes, they both left their families and are still working together. I think they took a few little weekend trips and whatever else they do. I don't know anything. I choose not to. They have no shame, and everyone knows what they did. Either way, I don't care about that. My issue is I know they will assure I have nothing if I fight him in court, and I should be grateful I have anything, plus I don't have the money for a lawyer anyway. By the way, you don't need money to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Now it
OP.
does sound like it's happening in the States because
Yeah.
she needs his health insurance that he gets through his
Yeah.
job.
This is terrible. He's terrible. He's so awful.
Honestly, I bet you could find, with your story, really insanely good divorce attorneys who'd be like, I'd do this for free.
Yeah, like pro bono work.
Like, honestly, this is so unbelievably screwed up. I will help you take,
All of his money.
Yeah.
and all we need to do is have dinner once a week.
Just once a week.
Like, just so we can catch up and keep up. Because that's crazy.
This is terrible. OPM, so sorry that you had to go through all of this, medical stuff and then this. It's terrible. I'd love to cause some trouble, but I don't want to hurt my girls any further. However, they both said they just want me to be happy. Plus, he would be mortified if the courts got involved and he had to spend any extra money. That's my motivation, I think. He's still a good dad to the girls, sees them once a week for dinner, and texts often. They feel bad that he chose to stay with this woman over them. I explained it's not them he left, it's me, but they're hurt too. It's like they hate him for doing this, but still love him because he's their dad and was great up until he wasn't. But it's all different now. I don't even know if I have any options with this. He's just so smart and always 10 steps ahead. So am I the a-hole thinking I can outlive divorce proceedings and finally take my dirty ex to the cleaners? I'd pass away happy seeing him cry over money, though.
Are you the a-hole because you want to prosecute your
cheating husband?
garbage bag husband who
No,
cheated on you
you're
while
not
you
the
were going
a-hole.
through chemo?
You're absolutely not the
Through
a-hole.
terminal liver cancer? No.
No, not the a-hole
No.
at all.
I'd be more upset if you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Get your money. Get your money's worth.
My goodness.
Oof. But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.